Rangers were humiliated in Europe a week ago, but they're on course for another domestic final. Aberdeen are in their way tonight. Can the Dons stop them and book a return trip to Hampden for the final themselves? We're at Scotland's National Stadium, live tonight on Sky Sports with the first Coca-Cola Cup semi-final. It's Rangers against Aberdeen. They've met on 34 occasions in this competition. Rangers have dominated them. They've actually won the last 3 in a row, so Aberdeen are due one soon. And Rangers have had the better of them in the league in recent seasons too. When they meet, there's always something to talk about. Live football on Sky Sports again tonight for a place in the Coca-Cola Cup final. The semi at Hampden is between Rangers and Aberdeen. It's been pouring in Glasgow all day. It still is raining. There's not so much as a mopping up operation going on, but some serious forking taking place at Hampden right now. Game is on. The ground staff have done a smashing job to get it on. But it could be a little slippery tonight, the top surface. That also could make for a very interesting match, of course. Well, our guest this evening, the former Rangers midfield player Nigel Spackman, now with Chelsea, of course, and the former Dons striker Charlie Nicholas. Good to see you both. What can we look forward to from these two tonight, Charlie?
I would expect an exciting game, Richard, and lots of goals every time these two seem to meet, especially at Hampden. There always seems to be a lot of goals about, and Aberdeen's strength this season is in attack, and I expect Aberdeen to go at the defence all night.
Was there always something special, Nigel, for you playing against Aberdeen?
Yes, really, when I was up there, they were our closest rivals, really. I think Celtic were obviously trying to rebuild, and it's always a good game between Rangers and Aberdeen. You know.
Certainly, as Charlie, sorry to interrupt, certainly as Charlie was saying, there's been some goals in the Coca-Cola Cup competition in general this season, which tells us what, I wonder, Charlie, something like an average of 3 a game.
Yeah, I think most of the teams who started this season have been quite positive in Scotland. And I think it's helped with the problems that Aberdeen suffered last season. They just managed to stay in the Premier Division, and I think they had a real fright. And I think they've decided now that they must attack and they must go and entertain. I think Celtic are doing a similar type of situation also, and I think a lot of this is building in so many goals getting scored.
Yeah, 118 as we've seen from the games thus far, average of 3 per match, as we said, and the leading scorers in the Coca-Cola Cup to date. Albert Craig of Partick, no more for him, but 4. Neil McCann of Dundee, 4. Booth of Aberdeen, 3. He's in good form this season, isn't he, Scott Booth?
Yeah, he's come back well. He's had bad injuries throughout the last couple of seasons. He's come back very positive this season, looking fresh again. And Aberdeen really missed him last season, and he's making up for it this term.
Rangers missed out on both cup finals last season, Nigel, uncharacteristically for them.
Yes.
Does that make them all the more determined this time round?
Well, in recent years, they've had great success in the League Cup, Coca-Cola Cup as it is now. And last season, I think what happened was the European thing came along before the season even started. They had so many games and then got knocked out early. And obviously we're all disappointed about that. But I think this season they want to win it as they want to win everything.
And when you're playing in Scotland, it's just a matter of course that this final comes this side of Christmas. Very sensibly, I would have thought. I mean, it must speak volumes to get it out of the way pre-Christmas.
I think it's good because it's good for the supporters. It keeps them interested, and it gets one of the cups out the way. Yes. Over here we have, you know, the League Cup, which is the Coca-Cola Cup, and the FA Cup going on at the same time. And sometimes in recent seasons we've had clubs involved in both competitions.
And a real fixture pile-up more often than
not. And
not.
Up there you don't get that problem.
Well, Rangers are in at Hampden, wet, no doubt, unless they really have been ducking and diving thus far. It really has been pouring down, as we've said. Here they are. John Brown there, stepping off. Stephen Wright dropped on Saturday. Is there a place for him tonight? There's Gaza. Brownhead. And Aberdeen are trying to stay dry. Battering down, Charlie, isn't it?
Well, it's typical Glasgow, really, at this time of the year. I was glad to leave it today. No, it's this actually happened a few seasons ago. Celtic played Rangers in a Scottish Cup tie, this type of condition. And I tell you, it tends to suit Rangers better because
More live football from Sky Sports this evening. Coca-Cola Cup semi-final from Scotland. Hampden Park, the venue. It's between Rangers and Aberdeen. And let's check out the form. This is what Rangers have been up to so far this season. They started against Morton in the Coca-Cola Cup, and this was easy enough. Ali McCoy's got them underway. Paul Gascoigne rounded the day off. Another hurdle was successfully negotiated in Cyprus as they reached the Champions League. And the defence of the title started against Kilmarnock at Ibrox.
There's a chance for McCoy, and it's McCall! Stuart McCall scores for Rangers!
In the Coca-Cola Cup third round, they scraped home 3-2 against Stirling Albion. Then in the league, there was a visit from Wraith. McCoy's got 2 of Rangers' 4 that day. His second was courtesy of Gascoigne. Champions League campaign started badly with a defeat in Bucharest. But domestically there were no such problems as they went to Falkirk. Oleg Solenko claimed his first goal for the club. David Robertson made it 2-0, and now they had maximum points from 3 games in the league. Coca-Cola Cup quarter-final provided an early season Old Firm meeting. One touch from Gascoigne created the decisive moment.
Gascoigne, great chance there, it's in, there's a goal for Rangers!
Darren Jackson's penalty for Hibs at Ibrox brought the unbeaten league run to an end. But they did manage a first Champions League point with a draw against Borussia Dortmund. Then it was back to Celtic Park on league business, where again, Gaza stole the show.
That's good play, good one. Looking for Cleland, great header! Alan Cleland for Rangers! That's good play by Solenko. McCoy says Gascoigne racing through the middle. It's great play for Rangers. And Gascoigne has scored! It's a magnificent goal by Gascoigne!
Alex McLeish took his Motherwell side to Ibrox 3 days later for another instalment of the Gascoigne story.
Gascoigne going through, a chance here to score. That's a brilliant finish by Gascoigne. Good run by McSkimming, and a header then. It's a great goal by McSkimming.
Injury hit Gaza in the second half. He was carried off in agony, leaving Super Ali to win the match. Slightly injured Gascoigne and McCoist, Rangers went to Pittodrie and still won. Craig Moore's header was enough to beat Aberdeen. Partick Thistle put up little resistance when Rangers went to Firhill. This was the Gordon Dury show. He got a hat-trick. With 8 games gone, Rangers had established a 4-point lead and a good goal difference advantage. So they were in relaxed mood as they trained for the Champions League match against Juventus. But on the night, they got a stark reminder of how far behind the best in Europe they are. They were thrashed 4-1. But with Gascoigne back on Saturday, they really took it out on Hearts.
There's the buzz going around the ground as he picks up the ball. It's Gascoigne! And a wonderful goal! Lauren, Solenko. Touched by Solenko, getting away from McPherson. Solenko! And a tremendous finish by Oleg Solenko. Solenko to the outside. Back to goal. Clelland. Helichenko. Here's a chance for Jury! And Gordon Jury absolutely buries the ball. John Miller trying to get forward. Still it's Miller trying the shot, and it's a fine effort.
Solenko rounded off the scoring from Ian Durant's pass. And Rangers ended the first quarter of the championship season with a 6-point lead. They missed out on both domestic cups last season. Tonight, Walter Smith wants them to book a return trip to Hampden. This is how they made it to the semi-finals. Greenock Morton beaten 3-0, Stirling Albion 3-2, and Celtic, of course, in the 4th round. We saw that live 1-0. Ali McCoist, the scorer on the night. Here's their manager, Walter Smith, with Davy Provan.
Walter, you had to take David Robertson and Richard Gough off on Saturday against Hearts. What kind of shape are you in just before the kick-off here?
Well, both the players will miss the game tonight. I thought David Robertson would miss the game. He, after Saturday's game, was certain to miss it. Richard Gough, a bit disappointed that he's missing it. His groin injury hasn't healed in time, so he'll miss the game as well.
How significant was that victory on Saturday against Hearts, given the disappointment of Turin a few days earlier?
Well, I felt we had to get back, and especially with this game, very important one tonight. If we had come back and not got a good result on Saturday, it would certainly have affected the confidence of the team overall. So we were pleased to take it off to a good start, Paul Gascoigne goal, and then get a good victory under our belt.
A lot of flair players on both sides tonight. Do you think we can expect a good opening match?
Yeah, I think we can. I think that in the game we played in the league at Pittodrie, Aberdeen had the best of the game territorial. Well, maybe we had the best chances to score in the game, but I would feel it'll be a more open game tonight. I think, you know, coming on both teams playing at Hampden, first time this season, I think it'll be more of an open match.
Given the Rangers seem to spend most of their time trying to break sides down, how refreshing is it to play against a side like Aberdeen who'll come here and have a go tonight?
Well, it's always good. I think it's the right way to go about a semi-final match. I think that if we didn't do that tonight, you're either in or out the cup, there's no replays. So I think both teams have got to come and try and win, and I think that'll be a benefit to the game in general.
Thanks, Walter.
Thanks, David.
That is worth underlining, incidentally, extra time and penalties if they are required to separate them this evening. Nigel Spankman and Charlie Nicholas are with us this evening. Nigel, we knew that David Robertson wouldn't play. It was expected Richard Gough would be fit. He isn't. So how much of a blow is that for Rangers?
I think that's a big blow to Rangers. I think he's had a magnificent season so far. He's a good leader on the park. And it's going to be interesting for me to see if Rangers turn back to a straight back 4 or they stick with the 5 without Richard there, because with Ian Jess playing in the hole, I don't know who's going to actually pick him up, because I thought he might play McLaren there, but if Richard's out, he might leave McLaren at the back. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with Richard not playing.
We'll wait for confirmation, of course, of the teams. It's half an hour before kick-off in Scotland, so there's 10 minutes or so before those team sheets have to go in. But you've played with a few. How would you rate Richard Gough as a central defender amongst the best?
I think for his size, he's tremendous in the air. He scores his fair number of goals from set pieces, from free kicks and corners. And he's a good leader. He's not the greatest distributor of the ball, but he reads the game very well. and I think he should be back in the Scotland squad and playing in the European Championships. And
if he wanted to play for Scotland, of course, that's as much a part of
well,
the problem.
I think he would. I think the European Championship is the last big competition that he could play in for Scotland. I think he'd be too old to hang out for the World Cup, but it's down to Craig Brown in the end if he's going to pick him on up.
Amongst the replacements being touted, John Brown, who we saw stepping off the bus earlier, who's got coaching duties now, of course, at Ibrox. It rather stretches the squad, doesn't it, to have him around, but he's a real competitor, Brown, isn't he?
Without a doubt, he makes every 50-50 ball his, and he's good for the lads. I mean, he talks well, he G's them all up, and he's got a tremendous left foot on him. He can score goals, and he's good in the air as well, but I'm sure he'd rather not be playing.
Has he left a mark on you down the years, Charlie?
More than once. Many times the Bomber's done that to me. No, I've always admired and respected John Brown. He's a guy who really gets a passion of the support, his own supporters behind him. And not always the type of style that probably people would recognise me as respecting, but I think he's been ever so honest as a player. He's prepared to kick you, but at the same time, not a lot of people do, is take it back, and John Brown always took it back.
Well, a place in the Coca-Cola Cup final at stake tonight, but can Rangers bounce back from that European setback?
I think the standard of football in Scotland is at such a low ebb that when they get out of Scotland, they're lost in Europe. Tactically, I think Europe's far ahead.
I think Rangers are good for Scotland, but they need challengers, and none of our teams in Scotland are challenging just now.
I think it's the style of football we play in this country has a lot to do with fans aren't patient enough. Like, you just watched Juventus last week, they were just a totally different class team.
Juventus are a class act, and I think they've done that to anybody in Britain. To come back on Saturday and win 4-1 on Saturday with the show we had, especially the crowd on Saturday, shows that people are right behind them.
I don't think they get enough of a challenge in Scottish football. I mean, usually they beat most of they've won the league 7 times running, and I don't think they get enough competition to prepare them for playing against top teams like Juventus.
The younger players and the old Scottish players, we just don't breed them. Like the Italians, Europeans, basic Europeans, I mean, it was unbelievable, wasn't it? It really was bad.
Shouldn't dwell on it too much because, as one of the contributors said there, Juventus were good, and there were a lot of teams that they would have embarrassed on the night. But obviously, the league title is paramount. Then Europe, they'd swap 1 or 2 of those titles, wouldn't they, for a European Cup success?
Well, the thing was, when we were there, when I was there, was some weeks you'd play on a Saturday and you'd have 9 foreigners in the team, and on the Wednesday you had to play in the European Cup, and you could only have 3 foreigners, and that's the problem Rangers have had over the years. But the most important thing is obviously to win the league title to get into the European Cup. And you've got to keep winning the championship to get into the top European Cup.
We should remind ourselves, it's only a couple of years ago they finished the Champions League season unbeaten, of course, and were very unfortunate to lose out.
Yeah.
But another of those gentlemen there, Charlie mentioned, they don't have enough of a challenge week in, week out. Is that also a part of the problem, without being unkind?
Well, it is a part of the problem, Richard. There's no doubt about that, but I'm sure a lot of the Rangers supporters kid themselves that they really do want a challenge. They're quite happy being successful every year and trying to reach this 9 in a row that Celtic have set. But they probably don't get as much of a challenge as not just Celtic and Aberdeen supporters and that would like. Everybody in Scotland would like to see it be stronger. But it's just not there just now. We're not producing. Every year we seem to go through this same routine in Scotland. We get beat with a good side and then everybody goes, that's for champions, that's the standards we almost set. And they fall flat in their face and everybody suffers. So the whole thing must change. We must start adapting totally and start appreciating the European style.
But there must also be something in what Nigel said, that week in, week out domestically, foreigners are part and parcel of the scene. Come the European games, that isn't the case, is it?
No, that's true. That doesn't help them. I mean, I think in Scotland, I think the way I would like to change it, if I could possibly change it, would be I would call all the players British and try and work on that basis so that at least the British clubs have then got a better chance. But I look back a couple of seasons ago when Barcelona gave Manchester United a good hiding in Barcelona.
Absolutely. That's right.
And the same was said then, but Man U learned a lesson, got on with it. But the whole of Scotland in general just wants to see a bit more entertainment, and hopefully tonight with Aberdeen and Rangers going at it, we're going to see some more of that.
But is it coming? You sense it's beginning to start?
No, I don't. No? I think every year we keep saying the same thing, and it's like old news, and we keep saying the same things all the time. We want to see the Loudrops and the Gascoignes and everybody coming up and playing in our league, just like is developed in England. But we're standing still. England has gone a bit more forward than we have, and we're standing still. We need to progress further.
Fair enough. OK, live football tonight. We'll have a look first-hand at what's happening in Scotland as Rangers and Aberdeen go head-to-head in the Coca-Cola Cup semi-final. Hampden Park is the venue, and our live football kicks off in around about half an hour at 8 o'clock. Sky Sports tonight, Hampden Park, our venue. Coca-Cola Cup semi-final between Rangers and Aberdeen. Rangers favourite, 9-2 Aberdeen, 12-5 the draw. That's after 90 minutes, of course. It cannot end in a draw. There'll have to be a winner tonight. There'll be extra time, and if we require them, penalties, in order that there is a victor on the night. Well, let's check out on Aberdeen now, who, of course, were close to a disaster last season, but it's a good deal better this time around. After a win over St Mirren in the Coca-Cola Cup second round, Aberdeen got their league campaign underway at Brockville Park. John Ingalls scoring after half an hour. Billy Dodds got the second. Joe McLaughlin pulled one back for Falkirk. But Scott Booth restored the two-goal cushion, and it finished 3-2. And 4 days later, Booth scored here again as the Dons won 4-1 in the third round of the Coca-Cola Cup. Aberdeen took on Celtic in a thriller at Pittodrie. All the action happened in the first half, where Aberdeen got off to a flyer.
Booth's head up. That's awkward! It's a long goal! Into space, it goes for Jess! That's the second for Aberdeen! Hughes to Donnelly. Linking with Van Hooydonk. Good running by Collins. Tom's cross! He scored! The measured pass for Donnelly. Van Hooydonk to Tom. Rebound and Tom Collins!
The following week, the Dons got a draw with Hibs. 2 good goals setting it.
Terrific goal from Shearer! No offside here. Here's Darren Jacks with a chance. The great goal for Hibs!
In the fourth round of the Coca-Cola Cup, the Dons travelled to Motherwell. They went behind to Dougie Arnott's first half strike. In the second half, Dodds hooked the ball in to take it into extra time. And after 115 minutes of play, Ingalls sent the Dons into the semi-finals. At Kilmarnock, Aberdeen took the lead, Joe Miller racing away for his first of the season. Colin Woodthorpe was also on the score sheet. He got a cracker in a 2-1 win. The 5 wins from 7, Roy Aitken's team had started well, but he was still buying. He brought in Paul Bernard for a record fee. At home to Wraith, Scott Booth put them ahead. Booth then supplied the cross for Miller. And in the second half, Booth scored his second as Aberdeen went second in the table. They took the lead at Tynecastle through Dodds. Hearts equalised 4 minutes later, but in the second half, Booth stole all 3 points. Here's that match against Rangers. Craig Moore scoring the only goal of the game with 12 minutes remaining. Roy Aitken claimed his side were hard done by, but Rangers will take a lot of confidence from this result into tonight's match. Having knocked Motherwell out of the Coca-Cola Cup, Aberdeen took the lead again in the league, Booth getting his 8th of the season. Tommy Coyne equalised for the home side. And Motherwell got their revenge in the second half. Paul Lambert with the winner. After 2 straight defeats, Aberdeen got things right on Saturday. They were already 1-up on Partick Thistle thanks to an own goal when Ian Jess got on the score sheet. Then Jess turned creator for Bernard. Roy Aitken knows that beating the old firm is the key to any success he'll achieve with Aberdeen. He also wants revenge for defeat by Rangers a fortnight ago. Here's their path to the semi-finals. St Mirren beaten 3-1, then Falkirk 4-1, and Motherwell, we saw after extra time, 2-1. We've heard from Walter Smith. Here is Roy Aitken with Davey again.
Roy, after a comfortable victory over Partick Thistle at the weekend, do you feel you're going into this match tonight in good shape?
Yeah, I feel our overall performance since the season has started has been good. We've set certain standards that, you know, we won't fall below, and only once this season we fell below the standards against Motherwell at Fir Park, but overall the boys have played very well, and I think we're ready for this one.
Now, just over a fortnight ago, you played out of your skins against Rangers at Pittodrie and still lost by the odd goal. Do you think a repeat performance tonight will be good enough for you?
I think it will be. I felt on the day Rangers defended very well, to be fair to them, but they had to. As far as I'm concerned, if our boys repeat that performance tonight, we'll get the result.
Now, we're assuming that Scott Booth is going to play. How important is he to you?
Well, I mean, you can assume anything you want, but no, Boothie will play tonight. He's important to us because he gives us that little bit of pace up front. He's a goal scorer, he's done well, he's a great start to the season, and he's in the starting line-up tonight, so it's a major boost for the club.
Paul Bernard also played his first full match for Aberdeen against Thistle at the weekend. What did you make of his contribution?
Done very well. I mean, I know what he can contribute. He's a mobile central midfield player that gets around and scored a great goal. So, you know, I paid a lot of money for him, but he'll do the business here tonight. He's a big occasion player, and that's what I brought him here for.
Do you look upon this as a disadvantage to Aberdeen to have to come to Glasgow and more or less play Rangers in their own backyard?
No, Aberdeen, if over the years I've had to come to Glasgow and win things, and that's where you've got to win things against Celtic and Rangers. They're the 2 main teams in the country. We want to get back challenging the top, and I believe we're capable of doing that. It might take a little bit of time, but tonight's a great chance for us to get to a cup final in my first season as manager.
Thanks, Roy.
Thank you.
So Booth plays for Aberdeen. We'll get the teams confirmed in a moment, but I can tell you that Ali McCoist plays for Rangers tonight. Roy Aitken, they're fairly happy with the way things have gone at Aberdeen this season, but are they back?
After last year they're running, we played pretty well. Hopefully we're getting it back together. And I think we're due something, so let's beat the Rangers tonight anyway, we'll be alright.
Getting towards their best. It's just if they can do something against the bigger teams and get a few results, a break of the ball, and I think they're not far away. A couple of players short perhaps, but not far away.
There's no doubt about it. After last season they're back playing with confidence, and I think that's important. And they've got some quality players, they've got some exciting players, and I'm sure you know, given they get the breaks tonight, they'll probably get the right result.
I wouldn't say they're back to their best, but they're getting there. Paul Bernard, Ian Jess, all kind of good side. Scott Booth on form, played tonight. I think we should squeeze it.
Playing well. A couple of wee defensive mistakes, but sure that'll come right. Aye, in for the final now. All red final.
Well, here Rangers have signed some players that Paul Gascoigne, I've never heard of him before, but he's supposed to be a bit not bad. We'll handle him easily, he's fine.
That's fighting talk. You may have heard about Paul Gascoigne by the end of the evening. Live football from Sky Sports tonight. Rangers against Aberdeen from Hampden Park. Nigel Spackman and Charlie Nicholas are with us, and we've heard that Booth plays, that Rangers have got Ali McCoist on view tonight. Teams in a moment or so, but 2 important characters I would have thought. Andy Gorham in goal for Rangers, Nigel?
Have a fantastic season. Apparently, by what I'm told, he's kept Rangers in many games. I mean, he's played well in Europe as well. I mean, the games against, the game against Juventus the other night, he made a double save early on, and I thought it was going to be his night. Played well away in Steaua Bucharest, where they lost 1-0. Fantastic shot to beat him. But I think in domestic football, he's been absolutely outstanding.
We saw this game, Charlie, didn't we? He was the difference in the end between Rangers and Celtic, wasn't he?
Yeah, McCoy's got the headline with the goal, but there was no denying it. Gorham that night was fantastic. He had 2 magnificent saves, and then just a couple of weeks later he denied Celtic again in league duty. He seems to be wearing these strange bandages in his knees. And everybody keeps thinking that he's not particularly mobile because he wears these, but the saves this guy's making is quite extraordinary.
You mentioned it on the night, didn't you, that maybe the knees weren't so good, but there was no sign of it, was there? He was climbing and snatching everything out of the air.
The only thing I see a little different from him that he's not doing as much is possibly coming for the cross balls. But when, I know Goff isn't playing tonight, when his defence is doing what they've been doing all season, he doesn't have to. But his saves that's kept Rangers in games has been so important.
Nice to know he's behind you, isn't it?
Yeah, he's one of the best shot stoppers you'll see, you know. He's not the biggest, but, you know, he spreads himself well. He's got a good pair of hands. And there'd be a lot of onus on him tonight without Richard Goff.
At the other end, of course, Michael Watt, who's keeping Theo Schnelders out of the side right now. He's had nightmares against Rangers in the past, Charlie.
Yeah.
Will that be on his mind tonight?
Maybe not, but Hateley not playing. Hateley's been crucifying this guy for the last few seasons. I think young Michael's problem was that he was always coming in for 2 or 3 games when Schnelders was injured, and then he was back out of the team no matter how his form was going. So now he's got a few games under his belt and his confidence must be growing. He's not always been the most confident of goalkeepers, probably because he's not always in the side, but I expect this guy to go on and stabilise his position. But all round a comfortable goalkeeper, an under-21 international, so he's been about.
And for a keeper, young, 24 is no age at all, is it?
No, it's young for a keeper, that's right, and I think not so much pressure on him tonight. I would expect people like Ingalls and Smith in the central defensive roles to really help the kid out and really get him through this game.
And if Aberdeen are doing what Ray Aitken says they will, which is attacking, maybe there won't be too much necessity for their keeper this
You'll be hoping for that, that's for sure.
That's Michael Watt, who keeps goal for Aberdeen tonight on what was earlier a very wet Hampden Park. But is it still raining? We can find out in a moment or so when we join Davy Probin, who can give us all the team news. Davy, is it still wet?
Well, thankfully the rain is off now, Richard. The main worry here about an hour ago was whether or not the drainage here at the National Stadium would cope with the rain that has fallen all day here in Glasgow. We have the teams, and 2 very attacking teams they appear to be. Roy Aitken, of course, considers that the strength of his side lies from midfield forward, and there's no doubt that he will have a real go tonight at a Rangers side that is seriously depleted by injuries. Let's then have a look at that Rangers side tonight. Before Saturday, of course, Walter Smith had already been without Charlie Miller, Brian Laudrup, and he lost Stuart McCall in the match against Juventus in Turin. Well, there was more bad news to follow on Saturday in the match against Hearts, because he was to lose David Robertson and Richard Goff. Robertson with a hamstring, Goff with a groin strain. Now the changes in that Rangers side: Stephen Wright will come in and play at right back. Ali McCoist, as you can see, will partner Oleg Salenko up front, and John Brown, the veteran Rangers player, of course he can play in either midfield or at the back. Out of the Rangers side, let's just confirm that: Richard Goff and David Robertson. The other change to Saturday's side, Alexei Mikhailichenko, who is on the bench tonight. Let's move on then to the Aberdeen side, and better news for them, because Roy Aitken just about able to field what he would consider to be a full-strength side. Fullback Colin Woodthorpe, of course, is out for 6 weeks. He broke a bone in his foot against Motherwell a fortnight ago. But that apart, all the news is good, and the most significant news for the Aberdeen supporters is that the Premier League's top scorer, Scott Booth, is back, and that means demotion for Duncan Shearer. He starts the match on the bench tonight. Now, Paul Bernard came into the Aberdeen side. He started a match for the first time against Partick Thistle on Saturday. He had to be reasonably patient before that, but he did get a start on Saturday, and he also managed to grab a goal, and Roy Aitken will look for him and Paul Bernard to be significant players for his side tonight. Well, they're the sides that will go head-to-head here at the National Stadium tonight, Richard. The prize for the winners, of course, a place in the Coca-Cola Cup final on November the 26th against either Dundee or Airdrie. For the moment, though, back to you.
Yes, Davey, thank you. That other semi tomorrow night. Reminder that this goes all the way this evening, extra time, and if we require them, then there will be penalties as well. But McCoist plays for Rangers. That's a real boost for them, and this is how much the bookies value him. He's favourite to get the opener tonight at 4-1. Salenko, his strike partner, 5-1. Dury, who's been in really good form of late, 6-1. Scott Booth of Aberdeen, 7-1. And Paul Gascoigne there, 8-1. Ian Jess at 12-1. I always like to look further back. Wright of Rangers, 50-1. And Stuart McKimmie of Aberdeen at 80-1 there. Paul Gascoigne back at the weekend Rangers got 4 against Hearts. Has he settled up there now, Charlie?
Yes, he has. I think when he first came back into the Rangers side after his first injury early in the season, I think it took him maybe 3 or 4 matches to really get his sharpness. I think gradually the victories against Celtic certainly helped him. When he scores a score, I mean, he's not even in the picture. He's no right to get this for a guy who's, I think, obviously been struggling from the start of the season with fitness, but he makes up tremendous ground, and that's the day that Rangers fans really confirmed he was going to be one of the real favourites. And since then, he's played particularly well. This was a good goal here, but in that game in particular, I think Gascoigne was outstanding against Motherwell that night, and I think he really showed his class.
You've done it, Nigel, an Englishman moving into Glasgow. What difficulties are you confronted with?
Well, I wasn't a high-profile player like Paul Gascoigne is. I think he's going to have problems off the park wherever he goes because the media want to know what he's doing every minute of the day. A bit like Charlie when he came down to London when he was at Arsenal. But I think
the difference was they could never find him, so it didn't matter so much.
But the thing is, for Paul, he's such a talented player. They just want him to do it on the park. They don't care what he does off the park, and I think that's the thing with Scottish people. They just want you to perform on the park. They don't care about your private life or anything. And I think Paul will go up there, do his best on the park, and hopefully stay there for a few seasons, win a few trophies, and go down as one of the best players to come out of England to play in Scotland.
You enjoyed it, didn't you?
I had a great time there. I mean, 3 successful years there. It's nothing better than playing for a club that's winning trophies and competing in like semi-finals of cups, finals of cups. And I think Paul, you know, tonight will be wanting to play very well to get into his first cup final.
Let's have a look at Ian Jess. Midfield this season, Charlie. Is that a change that he's taken to comfortably enough?
Yes, he's taken it very well. I actually watched him very closely. In situations, you know, he's getting forward a lot easier. He always seems to be facing the goal rather than his back to goal, which he was facing last year. And through his own admission, he says early in the season that he'd struggled for the last 3 seasons, which is quite extraordinary when people are writing about this guy's potential. But he's thriving in this role. He's getting more time. He's starting to hit power shots, as we see here. I watched him against Motherwell in the quarter-finals, and he was simply outstanding. Every time he got the ball, he ran at people, and he's doing this a lot more often now. And he's certainly back to his best. Exciting player.
I mean, you'll know the difference, Nigel, won't you? Running at goal as opposed to playing with your back to it. It does...
I don't run anywhere, Richard. You should know that. I don't know where the goals are. But I think it's interesting in just playing in midfield. I mean, he's not the quickest player, but he's got a good footballing brain. He picks up the ball, runs into good areas. And I think at Aberdeen, they've got so many strikers. I think it was maybe the best thing for him was to move back into that role, and I think he's thriving on it.
You say they've got so many strikers. Scott Booth back in the side, the top scorer at Pittodrie this season. Would he be Scotland's first choice striker right now, Charlie?
At the moment, yes. I think Craig Brown has already says Scott Booth and McCoyce would be his ideal partnership when they're fit. But this kid is... when I was playing at Aberdeen, the Booth and Jess were coming through the ranks, and Jess was the one they were all talking about. He's got a little bit more flair than Booth. But young Scott Booth loves scoring goals, and he does it ever so well. And the beauty of Scott Booth now is that Aberdeen rely so much on him, and that shows how much a mark he's made in that team.
One of the reasons that they had such an indifferent season last time round, because he was injured so often in the last campaign.
Yeah, well, they certainly missed him, although Duncan Shearer, to be honest, has been scoring a lot of goals when he's been playing. But they certainly missed this guy. I think that he just gives them that, as Roy said earlier, a little bit of extra pace up front. He's prepared to always take the gamble near post runs, which you don't really see so much of now from a striker. This guy's prepared to do these near post runs, and he gets a lot of goals from that.
Well, there has to be a winner tonight, one way or the other. The other semi tomorrow night, of course. But who is going to the Coca-Cola Cup final, Nigel?
There's only one choice for me. I've got to go for Rangers. I think...
How, then?
How?
90 minutes? Extra time?
Yes,
penalties?
I think it'll be over in 90 minutes. I think most probably Super Ali will pop up with a goal to make sure Rangers go through.
He usually does, doesn't he? Charlie?
Yep. I think if Aberdeen score first, they'll go on and win it. But my head keeps telling me Rangers, unfortunately. But I think we're going to see a lot of goals here.
But that's how important the first goal is. You think if Aberdeen get it, they can win?
So. Yes, I think so. I said the same about Celtic and Rangers. First to score would win. But I think Aberdeen must go first because defensively, Rangers are the strongest, even without Gough.
Live football tonight from Sky Sports. Once again, Hampden Park, which happily has dried somewhat. after a real battering today. Rangers against Aberdeen comes up next, live. Park. For the first of two Coca-Cola Cup semi-finals being played this week, we're live tonight with Rangers against Aberdeen. Super Sunday this weekend takes us to White Hart Lane. Spurs against the FA Carling Premiership leaders, Newcastle United. What a match that will be. And on Monday night, another chance to assess Arsenal's more recent progress against Bolton Wanderers, who are settling down now. Bolton against Arsenal is our live Monday night football. But it's to Hampden Park now. Our match commentators this evening, Terry Butcher and Jock Brown.
Good evening, Richard. Great anticipation here inside the stadium for what should be a terrific match, because these sides have met 6 times between 1987 and 1993 in the League Cup, Coca-Cola Cup as it is now, 4 times in the final, and every game really, Terry, has been a classic. You've played in some.
I've played in some classics. I've won quite a few and lost quite a few as well, but this is what it's all about, really. A nice, wet, windy, wild Hampden Park and a cup semi-final. So in the past, we've seen sendings off, we've seen goals, we've seen own goals, we've seen quite a few. So we're hopefully looking forward to a classic tonight.
Well, the stadium not completely full. That reflects the weather conditions this evening, but a very enthusiastic crowd still within the stadium nevertheless, and I'm sure both sides will get a terrific welcome. Aberdeen last season, Terry, despite the fact that they struggled and just avoided relegation, still managed to do some damage against Rangers. They had a draw, they had a win at Pittodrie, a draw also at Pittodrie, 2 narrow defeats. Can they do it again tonight?
I don't know, really. You never know in cup tie football. We've heard from David Proban that Richard Gough is not playing for Rangers. I think that'll be a massive boost to the Aberdeen team in that dressing room, knowing that the Rangers captain, who's on form and scored a couple of goals in the last few games, he's not playing. So they'll try and capitalise on a bit of indecision, a bit of inexperience of a new back three.
Well, it could be some morale problem for Rangers in the sense that they've lost, as I reckon, Laudrup, Gough, Robertson, Stephen, Charlie Miller, Ian Ferguson, Stuart McCall, and of course Mark Hateley has just gone. Does that not surely have some disruptive effect?
Yeah, obviously when you lose players of that calibre, although Paul Gascoigne is back, the absence of these internationals and great superstars really, does give other people a chance, like the Craig Moores, the Alec Cleland, especially Alec Cleland, who's come into the side and done well, as we saw in the game at Celtic Park. You know, he comes on leaps and bounds when it comes to the big occasion. He's growing in stature. As the players who have had to fill in through the injuries to these players have come in and have done well.
From the Aberdeen point of view, they have a big travelling contingent down this evening for this match, travelling in some kind of hope, I think, perhaps even some expectation in view of performances this season. Now, their problem this season has been losing goals. They've had no real difficulty scoring them. That could be fatal against Rangers, surely.
It could be. I think if they go a goal down to Rangers, then they really do have their backs up against the wall. I think if they do go ahead, then they really do have a good chance of going all the way. The Aberdeen fans especially, and they've come down in their thousands again, in very, very difficult conditions, will probably see it as their best chance to beat Rangers in a semi-final.
Well, these supporters certainly will believe that without any question. It's a long way down from the granite city of Aberdeen. But they're here, full of enthusiasm and all set for what should be another classic occasion. The playing surface very wet. The forking of the turf has gone on for a long time before the match. What kind of effect might that have on the performance tonight?
Well, I think it'll make it very skiddy, it'll make it very slippy for the players. We're bound to see mistakes, we're bound to see a lot of ricochets and errors from players slipping over, but it should add to the passing. I mean, both teams like to pass the ball, both teams have players that are very comfortable on the ball, both receiving and giving the ball away. So I think it'll add to a really good game. I always liked to play in conditions where it was wet and slippy, probably because I could slide in from 20 yards away and bring people down, but people like Charlie Nicholas when I was playing against him. But you know, it's nice when you've got a slippery surface because the ball zips over the surface quite well, and you know, you can really ping passes into your strikers. And you know, once the ball's played alongside a striker, it's very difficult for defenders to win the ball without pulling that striker down.
Well, I've just seen the players waiting in the tunnel there. What's the feeling like among players at this particular time, Terry?
Well, the usual, first of all, you've got to try and negotiate those terrible steps to come down from the dressing rooms. I slipped down there a couple of times, nearly knocked myself out before the game, but the players are taking it quite steady, and Hugh Dallas there ready to lead the teams out. Everybody's quite happy, everybody's looking forward to it. The nerves are really left behind in the change rooms now. You just come out now and listen to the roar.
And Ali McCoy leading out Rangers, captain for the night in the absence of Richard Gough. So some tense looks there on the faces of the players as they emerge. Well, they've had a terrific reception. So the team's now lining up in the centre, greeting both sets of supporters. And breaking at each end of the pitch, Rangers breaking there. And to the west end of the ground to prepare their build-up. And there's confirmation of that team, which has had to be changed because of the absence of David Robertson and Richard Gough, both injured at the weekend, adding to that dreadful casualty list. Nevertheless, there are 9 full internationals in that starting lineup. Only John Brown and Alec Cleland have not worn their country's colours.
Well, it's very difficult to see how Rangers will line up when they have players that can play in different positions. This is how we think they probably will line up, with Cleland going to left back, where he's done so well for them. Stephen Wright to right back, and he's a custom role. Craig Moore comes in as he did against Juventus alongside Petric. McLaren's there this time. But with a 3-man midfield and with 2 men up front, Rangers really have a very attacking side.
So that may be the Rangers lineup. Aberdeen, though, almost at full strength. The only real absentee that may well have played tonight might have been Colin Woodthorpe, who might well have played at left back had he been fit. But he is missing through injury. Stephen Glass showing his versatility, dropping back into that left back position. And Paul Bernard starting only his 2nd game in Aberdeen colours.
Yeah, we think they'll split up a little bit like this, really, with a 3-man midfield. And here we go into the midfield. 4-man midfield, really, with Miller on the left-hand side, Booth and Dodds up front. Duncan Shearer, unfortunately, on the bench.
So referee Hugh Dallas from Motherwell prepares to get the game underway. One of the most highly rated young officials in the country on the FIFA list. He's now satisfied that all the formalities have been completed. It will be Aberdeen to kick off. The number 10 huddled over the ball is Billy Dodds. So the semi-final of the Coca-Cola Cup is underway. And Aberdeen trying to get forward instantly from the kick-off. There's Alan McLaren in that advanced position. He's pushed forward clearly to look after Ian Jess in midfield. Gordon Jury starting the match wide on the left. McCoist inside, a shooting chance perhaps. Good effort from McCoist. Space opened up there in the Aberdeen defence, and McCoist almost took full advantage.
Great play by Gordon Drury on the left-hand side. Good ball into Alan McCoist. Just gets his feet right here, falling back. And that ball really, we were right behind the flight of that ball. There's only inches away from Michael Watt's left-hand post. Great start by Alan McCoist.
So John Brown's header. Stephen Wright has started the match at left back with Alec Cleland at right back. And here's Salenko putting pressure on Michael Watt. Well, Michael Watt has a record tonight. This is his 8th consecutive match. It's the first time he's done that in Aberdeen's colours. He's played 7 times in a row on 2 occasions before this, but this is a big moment for him, establishing himself as first choice ahead of Pearce Nichols.
Well, it's quite interesting to see from up here what about cloud level we are at Glasgow at the moment. That's Rangers formation. Stephen Wright's gone to left back. They have a 3 at the back of Gordon Petric, John Brown and Craig Moore. On the right back position is Alec Glenn, as we see with the ball now. In midfield, it's Alan McLaren pushed forward, as he has done for Scotland in quite a few occasions, partnering Gaza. Gordon Drury on the left-hand side, following that great run, and then we've got up front McCoist and Salenko. So a bit of a different turn-up for the books from a formation point of view from Rangers.
Well, these Rangers players lend themselves to all sorts of possible formations. Here's Alec Cleland trying to make headway, and halted very well indeed there by McKimmie. So alterations also in the Aberdeen tactical setup. They've switched McKimmie across there. He's challenging Salenko carefully as Gary Smith clears. Played forward there by Stephen Glass. So Brian Grant has started the match, Terry, at right back.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tactical chess match really from both managers. I think just trying to impose their own game plan onto the opponents. But so far Rangers have started well, had a good chance from Alan McCoist, and have got deep into Aberdeen territory right from the word go.
So determination, I think, on the part of Roy Aitken to keep that midfield formation the same. He has Miller, Bernard, Jess and Glass across the middle. Grant at right back, McKimmie at left back, Ingles and Smith the centre backs. Booth and Dodds, of course, up front. There's McKimmie. John Brown. Hiding up at the back. Selling a dummy there to Billy Dodds, which the Rangers fans enjoyed. proved to be a terrific servant to Rangers. He's joining from Dundee in 1988. Now 33 years old, player coach. Bernard did well. There's Jess. Here's Ingles. McLaren backtracking there, looking after Jess. Jury's header. There's Gascoigne, involved now for just about the first time in the match. Trying to go past Bernard. Now Stephen Wright, former Aberdeen player, of course. Grant's clearance. This is Booth. A little bit careless there, asking a lot of Joe Miller, allowing Goran Petric to make the challenge. Bit of wrestling there between Dodds and Petric, and the free kick goes to Rangers. Roy Aitken off his seat in the dugout there, complaining on the track, directing some advice to referee Dallas. There's Gascoigne. Moore playing it forward. Salenko's come off his marker, which he does so well. He's been brought down, and Rangers have a free kick. John McLaren over the ball. Gascoigne wants to take over. The last time Gascoigne played at Hampden Park was in 1989 as a substitute for England against Scotland. On for the last 10 minutes. Ball skidding through there to Michael Watt.
Joe, what was the final score in that game, by the way?
Can't remember at all, Terry. Rumour has it England won by 2-0. And Stuart McKimmie, incidentally, made his debut for Scotland on that occasion.
Poor lad, really, poor lad.
36 times in all, so it didn't do him too much harm. That's great play by Gascoigne. Passing a bit light towards McCoist. Here's Jess. Down Miller. Bernard inside. Over on the far side, McKimmie calling for the ball. Captain. Great servant to Aberdeen. 12 years he's been at Pittodrie and trying to test Andy Gordon from long range. Certainly not a prolific goal scorer, Stuart McKimmie.
Well, he's still not very prolific with this shot, but he must have heard that he was 80-1. We saw the odds before the game. He was 80-1 to score. Well worth a poke, because you never know in this windy and wet conditions the ball's good off the pitch or anything else. He comes inside here. One thing on his mind, he's going to have a crack. That's not too bad. Perhaps it's just a target.
Stephen Wright breaking on the left for Rangers. Backtracked very effectively by Joe Miller. So the throw will go to Aberdeen. Right at the corner flag. Ryan Grant being waved back. Another long-serving Aberdeen player. He's been 11 years there since signing from Stirling Albion. Just £50,000. On the way by Brown. Well, it's remarkable to think of the changing face of football. 2 years ago, these two sides met in the 4th round of the Cup. And no Rangers player on the field tonight played in the match. Only 4 Aberdeen survivors. Booth and Jess, survivors. And McKimmie and Gary Smith. No Rangers player playing this evening on the pitch, which is a really remarkable turnaround. Here's Gordon Jury. Good close control, is away from Ingles. Ingles sticking to his task very well indeed. Has a poor clearance. Chance for McCoist. Well, John Ingles wasting some very good defensive work there. Giving a chance to McCoist in the end via Salenko.
Well, great play once again by Gordon Drew. We thought he'd taken it a bit too far here. John Ingles does well. And his rash clearance really strikes Salenko. Goes straight to Andy McCoist. And had that been on Andy McCoist's right foot, I think that would have been 1-0 Rangers.
There's a problem here for Paul Gascoigne. Paul Gascoigne is being spoken to by referee Dallas. Now, the reason for that is a very angry exchange of words initiated by Gascoigne with Ian Jess. The referee Dallas conveying the message quite clearly that's not required. Now, Jess didn't appear to be involved at all, but he certainly upset Gascoigne in some particular way. Throw given again to Aberdeen. Here's Gascoigne. The layoff from Salenko. Jury to right. Petric remaining in the marking role. John Brown is a spare man at the back in the Goff position. Missed by Dodds and by Brown. That's Petric tidying up. Craig Moore goes across. Now McCoist. Nimble play coming inside. A little bit short the pass from McLaren. Giving Craig Moore some work to do. Petric to Brown. Calmly back to Andy Gordon. Well, it's a match which is likely to produce goals. Aberdeen have failed to score only once this season in their competitive matches. 12 competitive matches they've only failed against Rangers of Pittodrie when they played extremely well. Apart from that, they have the highest average of goals scored among Premier Division sides this season so far. Under 2.2 per match. Clearance there by Michael Watt. There's no offside flag there against Gordon Jury because he was not involved in active play in the new FIFA terminology. On by Glass. That's John Brown's clearance. That plays it back. Glass with the header. There's Alec Cleland. McCoist breaking. He's been very lively at the start, having missed out on Saturday's match against Hearts. And Gordon Jury scored in his position up front. Dangerous play against Billy Dawes, lifting his boot too high against John Brown. Well, the referee having words now with Alan McLaren, taking that free kick. Well, the ball was on the move too quickly. Here he goes, John Brown. You just see Billy Dodd's feet just a little bit too high, the referee right on the spot. Just trying to calm things down a little bit, just trying to, Paul Gascoigne in particular, several Aberdeen players, Rangers players, just getting a little bit too hot under the collar. Headed back by Paul Bernard. So the settling in process continuing in the match. Headed away by Moore. He's headed on, Solanke chases. Now Gary Smith, one of those 4 survivors from 2 years ago. Different position he played, I think, that occasion. He got left back, as I recall. Throw this time to Rangers. Well, Terry, has the Rangers adjusted formation settled, do you think? Yes, it has. I mean, both teams are trying to play football. Both teams are trying to get the ball down and make some passes. Aberdeen haven't quite got out of their half yet, but apart from Gordon Jury's 2 runs down the left-hand side, Rangers really haven't strung that many passes together. But I think Watt will be quite pleased with the way Rangers have settled into a new formation, a new system really, with Gordon Jury on the left-hand side. But they look the more the team to really get things going. Petric looking a little bit casual there, has to recover. Jury's layoff. Solanke showing strength. Jury has the pace. John Ingles very quick also. An appeal by Gordon Jury, but really I don't think much substance to that. He turned inside John Ingles, who matched him very well for pace in that run. Jury looks aggrieved. Here's White. Yeah, I thought he could have got in this position here. We didn't quite see it beforehand. I think he's just pushed the ball too far really, and just clinging to, or clutching at straws really, hoping to get a free kick for obstruction. But he did get down the left-hand side. Had he whipped the ball in with his left foot, Oleg Solanke would have been there for a good chance. But Oleg Solanke gave him a few mouthfuls. I think it was a Russian or whatever language it was, and I think he told him really get that ball in the box as quickly as you can. But he's posed a threat down that left-hand side, Gordon Jury. Big responsibility on Alan McLaren in the middle of the field. There he goes, close to Jess. He backs off again. Challenged by Moore. McLaren standing in no ceremony either. That's Gascoigne. Robbed neatly by Bernard. And Gascoigne and Bernard exchanging a little bit of banter or whatever in the middle of the field as the ball was released. Now it's with Petric. Well, Terry, that's Gascoigne involved again in a nothing situation. Well, he's the sort of player that likes to get hyped up, sometimes likes to take a bang, a challenge or whatever. You see him just going in a bit too, you see him just one of those reminiscent of a tackle he made in the cup final, of course, against Charles. But he just likes to get involved with things like that. He likes to feel the scent of attention, and sometimes, you know,
He does get a bit hot-headed, but he has to play that way. He has to play 110% all the time.
Header by Moore, collected comfortably there by McKimmie. Craig Moore's clearance. Ingles trying to involve Billy Dodds. Significant that the Aberdeen front two, Booth and Dodds, really have not been involved in the match so far. Well, they haven't been involved, they haven't had a lot of service, to be honest. A lot of lofty clearances, as we saw from John Ingles, for them to chase after, but not really a lot of change out of three centre-halves. It's difficult to play against two, but against three top-class markers, it's extremely hard. This is Ingles. Good play by Bernard. Grant playing it forward. Petrick's read that well for Rangers. Now Grant. Covering player was Craig Moore. Now this midfield battle fascinating. Gascoigne and McLaren for Rangers. Bernard and Jess for Aberdeen, right in the centre of the field. Actually, could be won and lost in that particular department. Bernard. Flicked by Dodds was effective. There's Booth. Handball by Gascoigne. Aberdeen anxious to get on with things. Here's McKimmie with Miller outside him. A high cross, unlikely to cut much ice against this Rangers defence. Booth and Dodds. Not very tall. Well, the offside flag is up against Billy Dodds. Shot came from Jess. Dodds was flagged offside, although it was deflected towards him.
Well, you can see, look, it's along the line here. I'm not too sure when that ball was actually struck. I think it probably might have been level, but the linesman was very quick to put his flag up, and as it happened, Billy Dodds' cross was comfortably dealt with by Andy Gorham. But he does go on the onside, offside position, as all good strikers do.
Chase on here, Ingles ahead of Salenko. Major asset to John Ingles is his athleticism and pace. £400,000 he cost from St Johnstone just under a year ago. Here's Jess battling with Gascoigne. His upper body strength so important there. He's been fouled. This time Jess will be spoken to, I think. Remarkable upper body strength though shown by Gascoigne, and he really muscled Jess out of that.
Well, that's a great part of his game. He goes past people, holds people off with his arms and with his upper body strength, and scores lots of goals. You have to be quite right, really. You should have a word with Paul Gascoigne to calm down a little bit, because those two really have had quite a few heated exchanges so far.
Well, flying arms all the time, but especially from Gascoigne. Really lucky to have his free kick. Very well angled in, just too high for McLaren. Beautifully driven free kick that from Gascoigne.
It's the right sort of ball into the area, aimed towards the far post really. Any slight touch here could be a goal or not, but Alan McLaren just coming up, just can't quite get off the ground on the far post as he would have liked, but good flight of free kick into the danger area.
Joe Miller has now switched to the Aberdeen left. Dodds trying to find Jess with a return pass. Here goes Gascoigne, taken right out of the play by Paul Bernard. It's a booking without question for Bernard, and he really has no complaint. He had no possibility of playing the ball there.
Well, as we can see, Paul Gascoigne nutmegs in there right through his legs. No, pros don't like that, and if the chance came back to lunge in, he lunged in there with the wrong foot. Really, I thought he was going to tackle with his right foot. As we can see, just lunges in with his left foot there. Probably a right-footed tackle would have been better, but as it is now, he's got booked by the referee. Now he's got to be very careful as to what he does in that tight midfield area.
Well, Gascoigne influence considerable here. He's upset Paul Bernard. He's certainly getting close to Ian Jess also. Petrick with a free kick. John Brown was up for the attack. Could make nothing of that.
Well, I find that quite strange that Gordon Petrick actually takes his free kick, because Paul Gascoigne was behind him, and I think Walter Smith will be quite disappointed in the fact that Paul Gascoigne didn't get on the ball. I think his delivery forward would probably be a little bit better, but we know Gordon Petrick, and we know that Alan McCoy, Paul Gascoigne, I should say, can both strike from long distances.
So by singing around the stadium, mostly from the Rangers supporters, as McKimmie tries to pick out the front men. He finds both. Good effort there from Glass. It tumbled and he got him. Easy ball.
A really good strike here by Stephen Glass on his wrong foot. Good height for Andy Gorham, but he might have just taken his eye off the ball a little bit. Luckily for him, he just popped back up and he's able to make a comfortable second catch.
Back it comes to McCoist. Solenka doing well against Ingles in the air. Frustration again for McCoist. Still managed to score 6 times so far this season. Michael Watt, just 24 years old, made his debut on Boxing Day in 1989 for Aberdeen. He's been on the scene a long time. Here's McCoist. And McLaren. Closed down rapidly there by Stephen Glass. And Stephen Wright. Crossed over to the far side now. He's playing in the right back position. Alec Cullen on the left. Jess with a pass. Too long in the air. Big no stumble, allowing Bernard to break. That's a fine pass. Here's Joe Miller, both weights in the middle. Now the delivery, a major disappointment. The apology given instantly by Miller. I think he's given the apology, but a few of his teammates are still berating the fact that his ball's on his left foot. Nice strike here across the WC number 9. Scott Booth really just poked the ball into an empty net, really, but quality of the cross was disappointing because really that was Aberdeen's best forage into the Rangers penalty area. Good header again by Bernard. McLaren's passing, very good indeed. These short passes from McLaren tend to be extremely accurate. Cleland's pass, the offside flag up. That was good play by the Aberdeen back four. They all stepped up. They're leading McCoist and Solenko well offside. Alan Cleland has switched sides here. We just see that Solenko was offside, well caught there, about 5 yards offside. But Alan Cleland switched to the left back position, and Stephen Wright's now got over to his more accustomed role of right back. Free kick from Gary Smith. Easy one for Petric against the smaller figure of Billy Dodds. They'll all be a little bit tentative in the opening 20 minutes. Inside showing great respect for each other. Good cross run there, allowing Dodds to take possession. Now Jess has found some space. Smith comes from the back. Gary Smith's pass. Very ambitious in these conditions to play a ball which is sure to skid away from the chasing player. Again doing well. There's Dodds. It's back with Bernard. Delicate ball into space there for Booth to chase. He's tracked by Brown. Well, perhaps even the footsteps of Brown behind were enough for Booth. Tackle made by Gascoigne. Jess again has found space. Always looking for a shooting chance in Jess this season. Scored a couple of goals, but very much on form and in the mood. Well, I think all the Aberdeen players, as soon as they get within 25 yards of Andy Gorham's goal, are having a poke at goal and having a good strike, and it does add confidence, and you never know if one could skid off the surface or Andy Gorham can drop one or whatever. Aberdeen could be in with a chance, but well worth a go. That's good play by John Brown with a pass. Cullen had nowhere to go there on that angle. With the pass, that's Gascoigne. Brown held for the cross. Patient build-up play this from Rangers. Good pressing play though, also by Aberdeen. Stephen Glass pushing forward there. Oh, attempts at goal, very close indeed. Aberdeen, in fact, one more than Rangers, and that's all even. And the one from
Stephen Glass troubling Andy Gorham a little. It does bear out the fact that when Aberdeen do get within 25 yards, they are liable to have a poke at goal. And it is wet, it is windy, it is well worth the try. But Aberdeen really, they'd be quite pleased at the moment. After that early scare, after the early good runs by Gordon Drew down the left-hand side, they'd be quite pleased that they've got the hold of the ball on a few occasions, forced Rangers back, and have troubled Andy Gorham. Craig Moore playing it long. Chase on here for Smith with McCoist putting him under some pressure. And he's down the corner kick. Determined play that by McCoist. Really taking his duties as captain seriously. Gascoigne. Good change of feet. You could see the intention there. Looking for the far top corner. A swerving left-footed shot. Well, you never know what Paul Gascoigne's going to do. 3 men in the box for Rangers. He tries to float it onto the far post. Probably about 4 or 5 yards off target. But Gordon Pedricks will come up for the corner. He'll be annoyed. He's made a 50-yard dash to get on the end of the corner, and Paul Gascoigne puts it behind for a goal kick. But you know, he's probably just using it as a bit of a target practice just to get his range. But the ball was on his left foot, admittedly. Strong challenge there by Moore. This is McKimmie. Very ambitious pass that up the line for Scott Booth. McKimmie doing some organising in that left back position. Just to Booth. Forward by Glass. Cleared by Petrovich. Good tackle by Moore. And Scott Booth's in trouble. Nothing wrong with the tackle, but it certainly did some damage to Scott Booth. He's had injury problems already this season, missed his match on Saturday against Partick Thistle. And good play by Brian Grant. Excellent defending, showing terrific awareness of where the goal was. There will be a hold-up here while Scott Booth receives some treatment, but this was great play. As Gascoigne gets his head up here, doesn't quite have a go and goal, tries to dink a lovely ball to the far post of Gordon Drew spare. But Brian Grant going to do one thing, just wasn't too sure about chesting it back to the goalkeeper. In the end, had to chest it for a corner kick, and great defending by Brian Grant. The right ankle in trouble. Now we'll see how this happens. There's one of them balls that Craig Moore comes in, a nice half volley there. Scott Booth, seeing the defender come in, tries to nick it over, but a strong and meaty challenge from Craig Moore resulted in an injury. The sort of challenge that you'd like in a wet, windy Hampden night against a very, very good centre forward, and we'll just see how Scott Booth gets on for that, because that could have been a bit of a nasty knock. He does appear prepared to continue. The hamstring which put him out of the Scotland side a couple of weeks ago, and has been troubling him a little. Kick count going Rangers' way, and Paul Gascoigne waits for the all clear from the referee. Solenko in the middle. And no one, they're attacking the ball from the edge of the box. They're all backtracking from the 6-yard line. Another area where it's difficult to develop understanding, Terry, and the team changing so rapidly. Well, you've got to put the ball in the right area for a start, and Paul Gascoigne put the ball going away from goal, ends up for a throw on the far side. I think if you're flying balls in, or he's trying to nick balls into the near post or into the middle of the goal where you can score goals, you've got to give your defenders and your big strikers a chance to actually score, and any touch, anything else could result in a goal. But from that corner, there's no touch in the world who's going to make that go into the goal. Gascoigne pushing forward again. Looking for a loose ball edge of the area. That's a very tough tackle. It didn't come off. An Aberdeen break. John Brown very sure-footed. He's better side to left there when that pass reached him. There's Gary Smith waiting for Dodds to come back onside. Bernard has Miller on the touchline. Gets the break of the ball. A very quick recovery by Wright. Gascoigne's pass, releasing Jury. John Ingles forced to come across to face him. Making for the byline. This is dangerous. Acrobatic clearance from McKimmie. Taken down brilliantly by Jess. That's great play in the middle of the field. Bernard finding Glass. Kimmie did all he could to get to that, but he's given it back to Rangers. Oleg Selenko. Now McLaren breaks. Good tackle there by Smith.
Bernard. Now Glass coming forward. Looking for a run from Scott Booth in the inside left channel. He checked out though. Gascoigne dropping deep. Back here now with Andy Gordon to come for a walk out of his area. Solenko calling for the ball well forward. It goes to McCoist. Across it comes to Booth. This is Jess. Looking for Dodds. It was very well let again by Petrich. Ingles. Now Bernard. Brian Grant supporting the right back position. Well, that's great play from Aberdeen. Miller and Grant making progress. Here's Billy Dodds. Goes to the far side for Jess to attack the Rangers defence. Now Glass. Kimmy comes from the back. Rangers have regrouped in defence. Ambitious effort that from Bernard. No real prospect of beating Andy Gordon from there. Scored, of course, on Saturday against Partick Thistle, Bernard. Displaying himself there to Roy Aitken on the track down below us. So news from south of the border. Arsenal ahead by 1-0 against Barnsley. The scorer was Steve Bold. Grant playing it long this time. Dodds trying to go behind Petrich, supported by Miller. Away from right. Here's Jess. Watts in his right foot for the shot. Billy Dodds calling for the ball on the right-hand side. Petrich a little left enough for that. Booth's layoff was attempted for Stephen Glass. McCoy showing his strength. Fouled by Smith. Misunderstanding there between Gascoigne and McCoist. Aberdeen build again. Good running by Booth in behind Stephen Wright. And the ricochet, says the referee, a linesman rather, on the near side, who is the Grade 1 referee. A second goal for Arsenal, scored by Dennis Bergkamp. Back it comes now to John Ingles for Aberdeen. Here's Gary Smith. Forward is Bernard. He's found space again. Lots more movement coming from Aberdeen. They're growing in confidence. Here's Joe Miller. Testing the pace of Stephen Wright, which is seldom found wanting. Very quick indeed on the turn and the recovery. Former Aberdeen player. £1.5 million he cost in the summer. Ball taken short. Spoons that behind for the goal kick, hangs his head. That's a cross to the left, a cross to the right, wasted by Joe Miller.
It was like one of my crosses from the right-hand side there, really just, as they say in golf, in terms of shank behind the goal. But poor Joe Miller's done well, a good run down the right-hand side, good tackle by Stephen Wright, and the ball going for a corner completely wasted. We've seen that in quite a few occasions in this game, and it is a tense, nervous cup tie, but both sets of players really trying to really get hold of the ball and making telling situations count.
Rescue there by Gordon Jury, trying a header through the middle for Solenko. Jury's versatility has been very important to Rangers since his arrival from Tottenham Hotspur. Here's Bernard. Attempting a good turn there and caught by Gascoigne. Free kick's been given. Confident play that by young Paul Bernard. Referee Dallas once taken again. So, action to a finish tonight, remember, there can't be a draw. And on Sunday, Tottenham Hotspur against Newcastle United on Super Sunday. And on Monday also, terrific action, this time Bolton against Arsenal. So a couple of great matches to come, but real drama still to come here at Hampden Park, because this match must be settled tonight. Extra time and penalties if required. Going back to Petrich, former Dundee United players. Now McKinnon.
Chested back well by Bernard. There's Glass. Neat play by Jess. Both on the left touchline. That's good play. Well, once again, in a big hurry with the cross. He had much more time than that. Well, after doing such excellent work initially, another wasted cross.
Well, great skill here by Scott Booth. Goes inside, Alec Cleland down his left foot. He could have just took it on another couple of strides and then got a better ball into the box. And it's really been endemic of the game so far when players have got into some great positions on the flanks, and free kicks and corners have completely wasted them. So that's why the score's still 0-0.
Aberdeen have not been involved in a 0-0 draw this season. Any match, in fact, only 3 of the 12 matches has one side failed to score. So, an indication there are goals to come. Brown, the organiser, at the back. It's a good spell this for Aberdeen, enjoying plenty of possession here. Rangers midfield just dropping out of things in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Clearance there by McLaren. I think what we're seeing is, well, Aberdeen are playing well because they're really squeezing Rangers at the back. Booth and Dodds are playing well. McLaren in midfield is finding it hard to get hold of the ball. But the Rangers 3 at the back and the 5 at the back really just relying on wild clearances, where normally Rangers would play the ball out from the back and would be able to make passes. And Aberdeen have pushed Rangers back in and forced these wild clearances and have been able to pick up the ball and therefore gain a lot of possession. Aberdeen trying to build again. Bernard has played very well again in midfield. He's seen a lot of the ball. Challenge from the back by Moore, and Dodds is penalised by the referee. Space here for Bernard. Tackled by Petric. This is Gascoigne. Quick assessment of all the options and tries to find Jury on the left. Salenko indicating where he wanted the ball played.
It's definitely been Rangers' best avenue down this left-hand side. Gordon Jury's had a good game so far. Gone about 3 or 4 really great positions, and after a sharper finishing by McCoy, Rangers have given up. But for me, Gordon Jury's been the best player for Rangers so far.
Gascoigne to Salenko. Salenko again. Good run made by Cleland. Still Salenko. Holds it up very well indeed for Rangers. And set spinning there, and the challenge by Stephen Glass. Dominic Salenko joined the club from Valencia for 2.5 million. Stephen Glass cost nothing from youth football. So Gascoigne waits. It's well won inside the area by McKimmie. Got up extremely well to that. He's not at all a big player, but he jumps extremely well in that central defensive position. Petric going forward. McLaren also there. A short option offered by Stephen Wright, ignored by Paul Gascoigne. Really had time to catch that, but took no chances. Still no problem there for the young keeper. Back here with Gascoigne. Now Wright. Jury. Gascoigne again. Pulls off Miller. And holds him off unfairly. He's been penalised. And he's going to be booked. Gascoigne's latest foul. Now that outburst won't do him any good at all. But he certainly appeared to go off the ball too. Hold off Joe Miller. Referee Dallas trying to keep a firm grip on things here, waving McCoist away.
Yeah, I think he just really holds him up there, and then he loses the ball. Ball comes down here, and then he just goes a little bit berserk, poor Gascoigne, and just been awarded the yellow card. The referee quite rightly calling him over, but you know, Paul Gascoigne will probably play better now he's been put. He's one of those players that once he's had the yellow card, he's got to walk along that thin tightrope between the red card and doing nothing in the game. He seems to have this sadistic approach, if I may say, about having had the yellow card. He'll probably play better.
Well, that's an interesting development. John Brown is taking a long walk towards the referee.
The purpose of that, I'm not at all sure. No, it looks as though referee Dallas wants words with him about a little bit of dissent. And he also is booked. Well, that really must be deemed a waste of a yellow card, Terry.
Well, you never know what he might have said. John Brown doesn't really hold back any feelings when it comes to telling the referee how he should be running the game, but obviously Mr. Dallas felt it was worthy of a booking, so John Brown now has got to be very, very careful.
Well, that's why it seemed to be a wasted booking. A little outburst there, verbally, and he now is in a tightrope. Referee Dallas, very highly rated German official on the FIFA list. Well regarded in European football. Bernard's pass, looking for Miller. The covering player is Petric. The throw taken by Stephen Wright. There's Gordon Jury. Grant first to the ball. McCoy's backtracking. Oh, that's great play by Joe Miller. Down goes Grant, fouled by McCoist. Well, McCoy's back tackling, and that's a suggestion that Aberdeen really are taking a little bit of grip in this game.
Oh, I can't believe what Ali McCoist is doing back near his own penalty area. He gets involved with the play here. The ball goes inside to Brian Grant, and that must be the first tackle Ali McCoist has made in his career. So quite rightly, we had to get another look at that.
Free kick taken there by Glass is a good one. Very awkward indeed. Oh, that seemed to go behind. Was it a corner? Was it a goal kick? The referee says a goal kick.
Well, we've had two better balls whipped in here, one from Paul Gascoigne, and this one whipped in here goes off. I think John Ingles comes up here. One of them balls Craig Moore and Andy Gorham getting each other's way, but Andy Gorham shepherds it for a goal kick. But it's a better flight of ball into the box. We've had two better quality free kicks going into the box and caused a few problems.
The offside flag is up against Scott Booth. Was looking for a knock-on there from Booth, which didn't materialise in any event. So back it comes to Gorham. Well, which manager currently do you think is happier, Terry?
Well, I think both managers would be quite happy that they haven't conceded a goal in the semi-final. I think Walter Smith will probably feel the worst of the two managers, because he'll be disappointed that Rangers haven't got their passing game together. It is a semi-final. Aberdeen have done their homework well. Their game plan is working very well. I think he'd just be content just to, just feed on a few scraps and see things, because there has to be a winner tonight. There has to be a team that goes through. Obviously, there has to be a team that loses as well. But he'd be quite confident that over the 90 minutes or 120 minutes, if we go to extra time, then his team will have the strength and have the skill to go through.
Well, strength and stamina may well become a factor in these proceedings. Throw goes to Rangers. Going into these late stages of the first half, when first blood could be so important. Here's Salenko. Turns so well for both sides. Showing his two-footedness there. Jury beaten well inside the area by Brian Grant. This is Wright. Goalkeeper's ball, and Michael Watt obliges. 2 shutouts in his previous 7 matches.
Good ball whipped in here by Stephen Wright to the far post as the collision goes. Ali McCoist goes down in the box there, and then Michael Watt comes out and leaps over just like a wide receiver for Dallas Cowboys.
Misunderstanding there, Salenko with McCoist. Lots of talking on the pitch there. Both sets of players to try to manoeuvre and adjust to take some advantage. John Brown's header. This is Jess. Faced by McLaren. On the far side is McKimmie. Dillon comes to meet him. This is Glass. Now McKimmie. Steve Wright did well. Miller's in the clear on the right though. Chance to take him on. It's well whipped across. A very good ball. Gorham at full stretch. Well, in a battle there on the far side with Stephen Glass, who Aberdeen get the throw. Andy Gorham really was struggling.
A great ball in by Joe Miller to the far post. Andy Gorham was struggling here with Craig Moore, and we're not too sure who got the punch, whether it was Craig Moore or whether it was Andy Gorham, but it was good to say from Rangers' point of view, they did clear the danger.
And Paul Gascoigne going in very heavily on Stephen Glass. Well, he really is fired up for this. He has to look very dangerously now with that booking.
early in the match. Now Jess. It's another good cross, but too high for Joe Miller. The wrong man for Aberdeen in that position. Joe Miller unlikely to hit too many goals. He has been known to do that though. But Gascoigne really is on the knife edge. Yeah, he does, like I say, live on a bit of a knife edge. The ball up in the air here, he just a wild slash there, and Stephen Glass ends up on the sidelines. But you know, he likes to play right at the height of controversy and at a level really where other players wouldn't even dream about playing. But we'll have to see if he can settle down and get hold of the ball, which really is his fundamental job. Gary Smith's pass, it's cut off by Moore. Dodds had a chance here to find Booth on the left. And the ball gathering pace, wind assisted towards that corner. Scott Bush shakes his head there, he was unlucky. Yeah, we've seen the players make mistakes. The ball actually went to Craig Moore. He's been back control. He's done it on a couple of occasions. It resulted in a bit of a half challenge for Aberdeen to get through, but as we can see from the wind and the players' hairs, the ball is travelling a long way with the wind, the pitch is skiddy and everything else, and we might see a few more mistakes in the penalty areas. Stuart McKimmy's header, there's Booth with Moore. Ball controlled by McKimmy's chest. Here's Joe Miller. Beaten by Jury. Stephen Wright's pass. Miller getting a little bit overwrought there. Free kick taken quickly and carelessly. Chance for a break on here with Dodds. Pass came from Stephen Glass. Well, the quick free kick was certainly appropriate, but had to be accurate. Here's Gascoigne. Good running on the far side by Cleland. He's very quick indeed, but so too is Stephen Glass, matching him going back. Cleland's cross. There's Jury. John Ingles protecting Michael Watt there, making sure that McCoy's could do no damage from Jury's header. There's good play by John Ingles. Good ball by Alec Cleland to the far post. Good header by Gordon Jury up in the air. And then John Ingles does what every good centre-half would do, protect his goalkeeper by blocking Ali McCoy's run. So John Brown's header. This is Ingles. Stephen Glass has done well, he's away from Cleland. And John Brown again, very sure-footed in the middle there. And a stronger left foot, turning the ball away and organising all the time. So we had a minute to stoppage time. It can't be a great deal more, I would suspect. Maybe the last attack of the match, this, for Aberdeen. Stuart McKimmy taking this. Brown and Dodds in a tangle. And the referee resolves that by blowing the half-time whistle. So that enabled him not to make a decision on that particular challenge. Well, a fascinating first half, tense and fought all the way, with Paul Gascoigne involved in so much of the controversy. He's been booked already, so he is to live on a knife edge for the rest of the game. Ian Jess trying all he knows to create for Aberdeen from midfield. Aberdeen settling well as the first half wore on, but they weren't able to find a way towards Andy Gorham. So the half-time score at Hampden, Rangers 0, Aberdeen 0.
So there's plenty of other football being played tonight. In England, Coca-Cola Cup ties, latest scores these. Barnsley 0, Arsenal 2 now, Bolton Bergkamp for Arsenal. Birmingham 1, Tranmere 0. John McGrill, own goal inside 2 minutes. Bolton 0, Leicester 0. Reading 0, Bury 2, that's something of a surprise. A real shocker. For Blackburn, though, trailing at Watford by a goal to 0. Kevin Phillips, the goal scorer there. Nigel Spackman and Charlie Nicholas are with us this evening. What do we make of it so far, Nigel?
Very tight game at the moment. I think Rangers started off very brightly, and then Aberdeen had come back into it, had a couple of long-range shots, but it's been quite quiet.
Rangers could have been a goal up virtually from the kick-off, in fact. Had Ali McCoy's done a little better, but
yeah,
what a start that would have been.
Yeah. You'd expect Ali to get this on target at least.
There he is, picking it up and then heading goalwards. Space would worry Aberdeen, wouldn't it, that he had there, Charlie?
It certainly would. I think Ali's little fault there was his control just wasn't as good as what he would like it to be. and it's very unlike him not to hit the target.
Mind you can forgive him a little miscontrol inside 40 seconds,
well,
can't you?
we're used to seeing him missing control in it right enough, but not in the first 40 seconds.
Now, what about two bookings? Bernard went into the book early for Aberdeen for a challenge on Gascoigne, I think exacting retribution for being nutmegged there.
Well, he's embarrassed.
But do you think that the word has gone out to wind him up a little bit?
Well, I'm sure it has, because to be perfectly honest, Gascoigne's gave a fair bit in return. But he's just embarrassed the player there with a bit of skill, and I think he's actually teased him into the tackle and got him the yellow card.
And then went into the book himself in a way, Nigel, that, I mean, there's the elbow there, look. Is it typical Gascoigne, that, and then a reaction on Dodds? And
I don't know, I think he's been winding them up early on in the game. I think Ian Jess and Bernard, he was winding them up, and maybe he could have got booked a little bit earlier as well, but I think that case there, I mean, the elbow's come up and the referee's standing right there, he's got no option but to book him.
Do you think he'll make the 90 minutes the way he's going on?
I hope so, but I think he's got to settle down. Now, as Terry Butcher said during the commentary, I think now he's got the booking, maybe it's settled him down a little bit, and hopefully he'll keep his head.
No goals as yet at Hampden Park. It does have to finish tonight. We'll have extra time if we can't separate them after 90 minutes. And if still we can't separate them, then there'll be penalties.
Thank you, Richard. Yes, the Rangers strikers waiting to restart the match. Referee Hugh Dallas is satisfied. And the match is underway, and it will be very interesting to see what alterations tactically emerge from the half-time discussions. Anything you anticipate, Terry?
Not really. I think both managers will be trying to get the team to get hold of the ball and make some passes, because any time they have made the passes, they've looked quite confident and not give the ball away, as Alexalenko did then. And the possession really has been given away too easy, as we see them. Already teams have given possession away about 3 or 4 times. And we've only been going about, 30 seconds.
Here's Alec Clellan now. Craig Moore hurries to allow Gascoigne to become involved. Awkward there for Clellan. Here's Gascoigne. Getting some stick from the Aberdeen supporters. That's good defending by John Ingalls. That's one of the head back for a throw all in the corner. Good play by Gascoigne, really. He's just doing what he should do, sticking to crossing the ball like that. But a bit of a misheader, but it is windy, it is blustery, and he did the best thing, and a positive action. The ball goes for a corner where Aberdeen can get their men back, get people marked up, and deal with the danger. So good play once again by John Ingalls, getting in the way of Alexalenko. The Rangers have sent John Brown up as well as Alan McLaren and Goran Petric. Gascoigne's corner. And just ahead of John Brown by Stuart McKimmie. So the lines are cleared there by Stephen Glass for Aberdeen. Well, certain conditions have not been at all easy, either underfoot or overhead. Putting control to a premium. Very difficult in the semi-final to settle. Be prepared to make passes. John Brown running into trouble, having to make that tackle on Joe Miller. Well, that's determination all over his face.
That's pretty endemic, Jock, of the way Aberdeen have played. They've closed Rangers down very, very quickly, especially at the back.
Billy Lodge playing that against Craig Moore and earning his reward there, which appears to be a corner kick. Aberdeen want to take a quick one. Only Gordon Jury goes across. It's only 1 against 2. Here's Joe Miller. Coyce makes a second player, and the offside flag is up. Scott Booth coming in from the far post area. Still looking a little bit ragged, the whole build-up process for both sides. See the wind whipping through Scott Booth's hair there.
So once again we have a second quality ball whipped in there by John Miller, and unfortunately for Scott Booth, the Lions flag was up straight away on the far side. Pretty good job for Scott Booth it was, because he actually missed the target with his shot. But really we've had 2 good balls in, one from Gascoigne and one from Joe Miller, so we've got a much more positive start to this half.
Right side count, not too dramatic there. McCoist in the middle of the field. Now the ball on the ground for Jess. The man I think Aberdeen would most like to see in possession in this area. Bernard to McKimmie. Ahead is Miller. Well tackled by Clellan. Joe Miller's got a problem with him because Alec Cleland in one flank and Stephen Wright on the other side. They're both very quick players indeed. He can't expect to outpace them. Here's Gary Smith. Not a bad ball, that, over the head of Goran Petric, but no Aberdeen player able to take advantage of that. It's got to be the right ball into the striker's feet, especially with three very composed and strong Rangers defenders there. Any ball that are into the striker's feet, Booth and Dodd's feet, will cause panic for the three defenders. But it's got to be right. And under these conditions, it's difficult to get the ball on the ground, a quality pass into your strikers. John Brown, can he score that back? Cross on the far side. And Stephen Wright in space. Offside flag up, but Salenko came back there from an offside position. 26 years old tomorrow, like Salenko. Chase here for Booth with the ball again, gathering pace. He's working very hard indeed to get it across goal. He's done well. Came off Moore in the end. That's a corner kick. Well, Scott Booth showing amazing pace to get to that. Craig Moore took a blow in the left eye as he cleared that up. Great pace by Scott Booth down the left-hand side, outpacing Gordon Petric. Good cross to the far post there. Obviously Craig Moore just looking over his shoulder. Joe Miller coming in, good ricochet there. The ball ended up off Craig Moore's eye, I think it was, his left eye, for a corner, but it's an important block by Craig Moore. John Brown attacked there for that corner by John Ingalls. Still wasn't put off. Such a tough, resilient character. He was literally attacked there on the near post, wasn't he? And John Ingalls coming in and John Brown bravely going down with his head. John Brown's the sort of player that will do that. He'll fight for the cause and he'll get his head in amongst the studs and just to clear the danger and at the other end as well to score important goals. There's Paul Bernard, tackled by McLaren. Really well forward. It's turned back there by Grant to Watt. This is Jess. Create for Aberdeen, having to drop deeper and deeper to do that. Here's McKimmie. Ahead is Miller, through the middle. Scott Booth, beaten to that by Brown. Good play by McLaren. Here's Gascoigne. Salenko helping it on from McCoist. Good return pass. Salenko holds it up, checks inside, looks for support. Going away from Gary Smith, who did well to stick to him. Chance there for Jess to come forward. Likes to run at defences like this. Gascoigne trying to match it. That's the pass to Dodds. Still Billy Dodds. He scored! It's a brilliant goal by Dodds. His first glimpse of goal in the match. Aberdeen take the lead. Great play by Jess and then by Dodds. Well, this is a great run by Ian Jess here, on over the halfway line. Paul Gascoigne doesn't know whether to go to him or stay wide. Now he has to go to him. Sees Billy Dodds. Good control with the Dodds. Lets it go. Good ricochet here. Lucky ricochet, but the ball's there. I thought Andy Gorham would possibly just spread his body a bit more, but Billy Dodds proved he's so sharp. You see the reaction, the reflexes here. Here he comes in, his left foot. One quick look, and it's bang in the back of the net there before Andy Gorham can even spread his body across the goal. Great goal by Billy Dodds. So Billy Dodds' fifth goal of the season puts Aberdeen ahead, but now they have to defend. It's Gordon Jury going to equalise that. Blocked by Ingalls. Salenko looked for a short pass inside. Jury trying to urge his team on. Well, the score now. Aberdeen leading by a goal to nil. And a splendid goal at that, coming after 51 minutes of the match. Michael Watt into that. Got a good catch under pressure from McCoist. Well, now, tactical decision to be taken by Aberdeen, Terry. Do they try to tighten up at the back or do they look for more? Well, it seems that this cross was well taken by Margot. It's good for your team, good for your back four, especially when your goalkeeper can take a ball like that under good and severe pressure by him, of course. But a team that does score a goal are at their most vulnerable just after they put the ball in the back of the opponent's net. So, I mean, Roy can be telling his players to be tight now, get the ball out of that Aberdeen back four, just really keep, as they have been doing, and pressing Rangers into making mistakes like we see from Andy Gorham putting the ball out under no pressure. Well, it's a time when Aberdeen will require all the experience of men like Stuart McKimmie taking that throw, the captain. Set on the lead. The tackle came from Gascoigne. Here's Dodds again, lifted no doubt by that goal. Misunderstanding with Joe Miller. Well, Rangers have options of all kinds. Among the 11 players in the field, they have so many possibilities of changing the pattern of play. They then have Ian Durrant, Alexei Mikhailichenko and Neil Murray on the bench. No goalkeeper, interestingly enough, for a match which could go to extra time, Terry.
No, especially if Andy Gorham does get a knock, then they've got to put one of the outfield players in. But at the moment, I think that thought would be the furthest from what was Smith's mind. He'd just be concerned with his team trying to get back on level terms.
Here's Jess again, controlling things in midfield. McKimmie trying to keep it calm, retaining possession. Glass to McKimmie. This is intelligent play from Aberdeen. Call on the far side came from Brian Grant. Now Bernard. Jess has made a run through the inside right channel. He's gone offside. Bernard holds the play up intelligently. Here's Glass. Not a bad effort by Stephen Glass. He has a very good left foot. A lot of passes put together there. Aberdeen growing in confidence.
Well, they are supremely confident now after that goal, but Stephen Glass confident there to take the ball on his left foot and try and whip a shot past Andy Gorham, but they made about 10 or 12 passes from the left-hand side all the way across to the right-hand side. They're the team that looks to be the most comfortable.
Ingles with Salenko. And a free kick given against Oleg Salenko. A bit of holding there on Ingles. Ingles clearly was outpacing him there. That was the problem for the Rangers striker.
I think he just got the wrong side here. As you can see, the ball's alongside, but John Ingles does well, holds him off, and then Oleg Salenko just pulls him down. So you can see there, a bit of a touch and go decision, but I think the referee was right. From this angle, it's a lot better. You see his arm pulling down John Ingles, and the referee, only about 10 yards away, was right on the spot and made the correct decision.
So Walter Smith now down on the trackside from the director's box, discussing with Archie Knox a possible change. Forward is Salenko. Joe Miller doing a good backtracking job on Clellan. Jess to Dodds. Here's Miller on the left now. Away from Clellan, perhaps fortunately for Clellan, that is. Now Dodds. There's Glass outside him. He's the target. Couldn't make contact with the ball as Craig Moore made his challenge. Glass, the youngest player in the field, 19.5 years old, a little bit younger than Craig Moore of Rangers. Here's Joe Miller. Quite happy to keep the ball in the corner flag area, but it's a goal kick, and Joe Miller is not happy about that. The facial expression, and any lip reader would tell you he wasn't impressed with that decision.
Is that one of your expressions, I think, Joe?
Well, let's have a look at this goal again, the one scored by Billy Dodds, which separates the sides.
Ian Jess's great run, good ball inside, slight miscontrol from Billy Dodds, gets the lucky ricochet there. Andy Gorham can't get down on the ground, and it seems to be through Andy Gorham's legs or to the side of it, in the back of the net. I wonder if Andy Gorham regrets making a run from his goal line with an angle closing so rapidly for Dodds. Jess plays it long, looking for Dodds again, it's just out of reach. He was being policed this time by Alan McLaren. But Ian Jess has done very well indeed for Aberdeen in circumstances where he's been really marred by Alan McLaren for much of the time, but he's found space. Yeah, but Alan McLaren's gone to try and win the ball. I think when you do go down, you try and win the game and get the ball back as quick as you can. You look a bit ragged, you haven't got the discipline, you haven't got the shape of the team and everything else, so you can end up making bad decisions and losing your shape completely, which is the wrong sort of thing. But Aberdeen have got their shape now. They're passing the ball, they're closing down Rangers all the time, and as we can see, they're winning the ball back quite comfortably. And they've moved John Brown into midfield. Alan McLaren's dropped back into central defence. Misunderstanding there between Miller and both. Interesting change that, Terry. Well, haven't got anything going, Rangers at the moment. They haven't got any passing from the back. John Brown did well in midfield when he came on in 2-1 against Juventus, but they just want somebody in there to get hold of the ball and to try and get a bit of pattern going. They haven't got any pattern at all in this game so far, and Aberdeen's game plan is winning hands down.
McKimmie back to Gary Smith. This is Glass. Over to the far side it goes to Dodds. See the ball swirling in the wind there. That made it difficult.
But Aberdeen are trying to force Rangers back on both flanks, keeping the ball up to the strikers, testing out this Rangers back four now. I think they've both gone to a back four. Good ball there from Brown, but overshooting Gordon Jury. It's a very difficult task this evening to play long passes which don't get caught by the wind and skid off the wet surface. Well, that's a tendency when you do go down, is to really hit the killer balls, hit the long passes, and any balls like that going through will be food and drink to Michael Watt. Dodds did well. Booth won't reach that. The offside flag was up in any event against Scott Booth. Brown has to play it back here to McLaren. Good pass to Cleland. Inside is Brown. Now Cleland again. Under pressure from Glass. Back with Moore. He may have to play it all the way back to Gorham. That's good pressing play by Aberdeen. Excellent play by Aberdeen, as we can see. Forces a mistake from Andy Gorham. Now Joe Miller. Booth is outside him. And Miller again trying a chip shot there, I think. Andy Gorham not happy with himself. Oh, really trying to look at Smith on the first down the sideline. Should be just trying to get his team to just calm down a little bit, just relax a little bit, just take it easy, just get some passing downs. Plenty of time to get back in the game. You've got probably half an hour to get back into the match. Don't lose your heads, don't lose your shape. Just be patient and get your football going, because really Rangers haven't played that much football in the match, so they do a spell. They're trying to change that now. Ian Durant is preparing to come on down below us. Gascoigne retrieves it. He's had a very quiet second half so far. Hasn't been involved for some time. He's brought down there, tackled by Bernard. The free kick's been given. Gascoigne again has a few words to say to the referee. Free kick's taken quickly. There's John Brown trying to look for Jury through the middle. Clearing some Smith, reaches Dodds. The space for Miller to exploit on the left. Here's Booth through the middle. Back it comes now to Stuart McKimmie. Booth is offside. Glass wouldn't have been offside had he been the player chasing that ball. Scott Booth made the diagonal run a shade too early. Now the change will be made by Rangers. Just see him just offside there running. Alan McLaren did well to step up and everything else, but I mean Joe Miller, it's great from Aberdeen point of view when Joe Miller gets the ball, because he can carry the ball fully 30 or 40 yards and hold off a challenge, can use the ball well, and it's great when you're under a bit of pressure as Aberdeen are at the moment. Rangers pumping long balls into the box and trying to get Solenko and McCoy's working up front. But it's good that Joe Miller can pick the ball up and just run at the Ranger defence, relieving a bit of pressure. Ian Durant is on the right-hand side of the midfield. Solenko challenging. Grant under pressure there from Jury, just enough. He got to the ball. That is a vital part. Jury offers no claim for a foul. Correctly. So a corner kick. Count being won by Rangers. Durant fights that in. Ward has missed it. Good save by his defence. Hasn't looked too secure with these balls all night. Now Cleland. Firing it again, John Brown controlling it, tackled well at the edge of the area by Ingles. Gascoigne retrieving, pressurised by Dodds. Petrach. Durant has Stephen Wright breaking on the right. He takes it from Solenko. Solenko again. Well, he did well to make room for himself. A shot with no real venom in it. Well, Michael Watt lucky to survive this last corner kick. Here's one of them swirling balls comes in the box. I thought he was going to punch it, tried to punch it, in fact missed it, did a Superman and missed the ball, and Alex Solenko can't quite get it, but so Watt will be relieved. He survived a treacherous night for goalkeepers. And then almost ran for Scott Booth going through the middle. Well, there's uncertainty right throughout this Rangers team tonight, in all departments, Terry. Well, a bit uncertain in the actual flight of the ball. It's difficult to pick up in these conditions, but having said that, somebody should be able to get on the end of one and just clear the danger. There's Gary Smith for Aberdeen. They're picking the passes much better than Rangers at this stage in the match. Now Glass. Dodds has come short. Both waits in the middle. Miller coming from the far side. This is Glass. Faced by Wright. Now Ian Jess. Again finding space. Good change of pace away from Gascoigne. Bernard. On the far side is Miller. It's good play again from Aberdeen. Very patient. Now is Jess again.
Still Ian Jess, still retaining possession. He's full of confidence. Now Miller. He's down the corner. This is great play from Aberdeen, controlling the game now. Settled on this 1-goal lead.
Yes, Ian Jess, a great run, bending his run alongside the Rangers defence. Jinks inside, Jinks once, Jinks twice. Ian Durant comes across the tackle, and Ian Alec-Cullen's there. Lays the ball out wide. Joe Miller picks up the ball now. Eventually pulls the corner. Stephen Wright's header clear. It's a Selenko. Chance on him, of course, on his own. 1 against 1 with Gary Smith. Brian Grant getting back. Smith held him up well. Now Wright. Good running by Durant. Defending is solid again for Aberdeen. Broke off Dodds, unluckily. Possession back to Rangers. But Aberdeen don't panic from defence when the ball's played back to them. They don't belt the ball anywhere. They pass their way out of defence, which I think really been a sign of this game so far. They've been able to retain possession, as we did show on the stats that they did have more possession in the first half by not panicking under situations where Rangers have just rallied the ball up the park. This is Cleland. Tackle there from the back was by Ingles on Jury. Great pass again from Jess. Now Miller. Chance to come inside here. Looking for Dodds. He's not tall enough. Ball still in play at the corner flag. Been kept in very well indeed by Glass. Back now with Jess. He's inside the penalty box. That's where he's so dangerous. Back with Bernard. Glass has McKimmie behind. Trying to take on Stephen Wright on the outside. Goes away harmlessly for the goal kick. But another injury problem in the centre of the field. Scott Booth is down again. This time he's taken a blow at the throat. So, with Scott Booth getting treatment, news from the Coca-Cola Cup down south. Alan Shearer has equalised for Blackburn Rovers. Victory zone, Watford 1, Blackburn 1. Aitken there, the Aberdeen manager, who's worked something of a miracle in terms of transforming the club in his short spell in charge. Entitled to be very pleased, I think, Terry, with this performance. Yes, he'd be quite pleased. You see, he's not quite relaxed. Not normally how we associate with Aitken. He's normally out there pointing in his veins, sticking out of his neck, but shouting instructions to his players. But he's quite relaxed, he's quite calm, and he's got every right to be so, because Aberdeen have made the passes, they've got possession, they've defended very well, and done the job when they've had to. Good touch on by Selenko. Takes it back from McCoist. Careless one, got up easily by Grant. Petric. Durant. Looking for Selenko, and he has support also from Alec Cleland, who can't get to that. Well, the other surprising aspect of the second half, Terry, is the absence, really, of Paul Gascoigne as a feature of the game. Yeah, I'm not too sure if he's been feeling his injury. He did towards the end of the first half. He was just hobbling about in the centre of the park. He hasn't done much running. He's made a couple of bursts through the middle, but hasn't gotten the ball. I really think that's down to the quality of Aberdeen's defending, Aberdeen's hustling, and they've managed to knock him off the ball, which is a compliment to their attitude. Selenko getting the better of Grant. Danny Smith's header clear. Losing out to Cleland. Here's Selenko. Three in the middle for Rangers. Jury, Gascoigne, McCoist. Still Selenko showing too much of that though to John Ingles. Back from Durant to Petric. Brian Grant's challenge. Here's Cleland. Looking for Jury inside the area. Difficult for the defender. John Ingles standing up well. Resisting a temptation, Ingles to dive into a tackle inside the penalty box against a very quick player, Gordon Jury. Good play by Rangers, probably their best movement of the match into Gordon Jury's feet. Just tries to take John Ingles, takes him once, takes him twice. A good block by the big man. Good save by Michael Watt down his near post. I think John Ingles is still down at the moment, about to have treatment. Mr. Dallas has run over to see if he's okay, and suggesting that he goes off the pitch to get his treatment. But a good block from that cross by Gordon Jury. Referee Dallas insisting the match continues. John Ingles is off the pitch at the moment, where he'll get some treatment from Davy Wiley, the Aberdeen physio. Ball returned there by Stephen Wright to Aberdeen. Otherwise McKinney will put the ball forward. There's Booth. Well, the possession figure shown here. Aberdeen still dominating in that area. McLaren lofting it forward. That's a very hopeful ball though. Down for Durant. Well tackled by Glass. There's Joe Miller. That's one for Booth to chase. Stephen Wright matching him going back. Waits for support. Glass. Now Jess. Can't see enough of the ball at the moment. That's a good pass. Here's Booth. And Bernard. Glass with the outswing. Cross. Billy Dodds. 2-0 to Aberdeen. Brilliantly conceived goal by Aberdeen. A second goal which has been threatened for some time, patiently built up. Lovely ball out here with Stephen Glass. Inch perfect cross to the far post. No Rangers players anywhere near Billy Dodds, and he gets a simple task really. We see it from a great angle. Good play by Stephen Glass with the lovely bowling. Gordon Pedersen has gone to the near post. Not a simple task to finish that, but one of the easiest chances that Billy Dodds will have to make it 2-0.
Well, great play again from Aberdeen. It was such a good build-up. I took plenty of time about that. Here comes Jess. That's for Booth to chase. Stephen Wright very quick indeed. Booth would know that all right. They were teammates for so long at Aberdeen. Stephen Wright going there in 1987, coming to Rangers in the close season this year. That was a lovely ball by Ian Jess once more, wasn't it? Just inside Stephen Wright. Stephen Wright holding him off well, holding Scott Booth off well, and Scott Booth conceding the free kick. He won't mind conceding the free kick in that area. Boys putting pressure on Michael Watt, who coped extremely well there. But the big question again for Rangers, there were actually 2 men over on the far post there, Terry, with no cover at all. Well, I think it was in dummy. I mean, Aberdeen have passed the ball so well that Rangers really have struggled to get hold of the ball, pushed men forward, and had to reshape. They've gone from a 3 at the back to a 4 now, and at the end of the day, haven't got anybody on the man on the ball, especially Ian Jess when he's got hold of that ball. They've looked dangerous, Aberdeen, all the time. He's threaded some lovely balls through, threaded the ball through for the first goal from Billy Dodds, and you know, just when he does get on the ball, Rangers players can't get near him. Well, this really is an outstanding performance at this stage in the match from Aberdeen. Billy Dodds, the goal scorer. Booth was caught late by McLaren. Free kick now to Aberdeen. Well, I've seldom seen Rangers look quite so ragged in a long time. Well, they look ragged, they haven't been able to get hold of the ball. I think really it's not so much Rangers looking ragged, it's the fact that Aberdeen have made them look ragged by their possession, by their patience, by their resilience and by their determination to knock Rangers off their stride and hassle them at every opportunity, and I think they've done that to perfection. Jimmy's free kick, and Mike Clellan, there's Dodds. Forward there, Booth, and the offside flag scored belatedly against Joe Miller. Billy Dodds headed there, you see, I think Scott Booth flicking that over the lines and then took an eternity to think about it, thought about it, moving and thought, well, no, I can't go and get that ball. I'm going to give a free kick for offside there. That's Bernard, back to Grant. Coping well against Dodds that time. This is Jess. Space again, popping up on the right is Dodds. Booth waits in the middle, so does Glass. Turned away safely there by McLaren to the corner. And that shows the frustration in the Rangers ranks. Alan McLaren very unhappy indeed at this stage. Once again Ian Jess on the ball, lovely ball to Billy Dodds. Billy Dodds thinking about crossing the ball, gets his head up now, has a look. Scott Booth in an offside position, then thinks about the cross, and the ball really strikes down Alan McLaren before he can clear the ball for a throw-in, so the corner's conceded. Glass with the corner. Solenko's lay off. Misunderstanding there in defence. Petric let that go to right. Aberdeen come again. Kimmy had gone down. It'll be a throw to Rangers. Down inside, there's Petric. And now Clellan in the left back position.
Gascoigne in possession. That's been something of a rarity in the second half. In the middle is John Brown. Played by Durant for Solinko. Well, attempted goal, certainly badly declined by Rangers at this stage. He's disappointed though. Well, I think if Rangers are to get into this game, they really have to have create more chances than that. And as you can see, Arsenal have found it very easy to score goals. Rangers are really struggling. Martin Keown getting that third Arsenal goal after Steve Ball and Dennis Bergkamp. Up goes Brown with a header. Jess. The irony is he was released by Rangers in 1987. Now McLaren. Solinko's layoff. There's Gascoigne. Couldn't find the pass, but Kimmy blocked him well. Dodds did well. The Aberdeen front two worked extremely hard to close down defenders. Jury was in behind Grant, but he couldn't control that first time. Towards McCoist it goes, and charging in was John Brown. Well, he's not happy and having a few words to say. His teammate doesn't take defeat kindly, John Brown. Good ball whipped in here by Gordon Dury. Alan McCoist and John Brown go for the same ball. I think John Brown was claiming the corner. Unbeknownst to him, Alan McCoist has probably blocked his header at goal, but that's really Rangers players getting in each other's way. Came off Ian Durant's head, back from McLaren. The Rangers now playing forward at the back, right. McLaren, Petric and Cleland. Cleland pushing forward. In the middle now, Durant joining Gascoigne and Brown. 3 up. Solinko, McCoist and Jury. Inside the final quarter of an hour. Well, just let's have another look at that second Billy Dodds goal. Here's the ball in from the far post, Stephen Glass. Billy Dodds coming across. Edge the ball there. Nobody near him. Andy Gorham had no chance whatsoever from about 4 yards. That was the quality of the pass from Stephen Glass and the quality of the finish from Billy Dodds. I can't help thinking that Billy Dodds would be utterly astonished to have so much freedom inside the box. Handball against Gascoigne. Yeah, he wants to say something. That's good play by Bernard. Harry. Good running also. Jess. Well tackled by McLaren, but Jess wins it back. Spinning like a top. Bernard. A shooting chance for Dodds. First touch let him down. Back with Jess again. Well, he's enjoying himself all right. Well, an 18-year-old and the Aberdeen side which beat Rangers in the final 1989. Deflected there, a shot from Gary Smith, so Aberdeen will have a corner. Well, Aberdeen really are turning it on now and making Rangers suffer. Well, they certainly are. They're picking Rangers players off with ease now. The passing really, which has been good all throughout the game, and really has killed Rangers off when they have had possession. Aberdeen is really destroying them now. Rangers just can't get the ball back to try and get back into the game. Smile on the face of Ian Jess, and that was absent throughout last season. Must have contributed to the problems, I think, to lose Jess. That tackle there by Gordon Jury. He's going to be booked for that. Great skill again by Ian Jess. Just flicks the ball past, and Gordon Jury really out of frustration. It's a fair cop cover, I think he says there. Down to rights and booked by Mr. Dallas. Third Rangers player to be booked after Paul Gascoigne and John Brown. Just one Aberdeen player in the referee's book. That's Paul Bernard, who was the first of all. Roy Aitken out there on the track. I wonder if he considers this the best performance from Aberdeen under his control. Still time to go, and Rangers renowned for comebacks in this position. Wasted free kick. Joe Miller swirling that behind for the goal kick, taking some pressure off Rangers. So we're inside the final 12 minutes of the match, and Rangers, who are renowned for comebacks, late comebacks, saving matches which appear to be lost, have to do it here. They have to start doing something quickly. No way through for Gascoigne or Solinko. That's Jess. Brown wants to make his presence felt. He did just enough. Here's Cleland.
with Durant. Dodge losing out to right. Ball runs kindly for Aberdeen. Bernard looking for Booth, but good defending there by McLaren and Petric. Pushing to the halfway line, leaving Booth well offside. Well, really has to be something miraculous now from Rangers. They still have Alexei Mikhailchenko and Neil Murray on the bench. Mikhailchenko's been warming up diligently for some time. Pass from Petric, asking too much there of Alec Welland. Looks back to his teammate, Walter Smith. Heads back the tunnel to the director's box. Rather surprised at that at this stage. So the throw to Rangers. McCallum may be involved for just about the last time in the match. Leading that throw to Gordon Jury, going for length. Petric. Away back Ingles. Dodds under the ball. Alexei Mikhailchenko waiting down below as to come on to replace Alec Cleland. It's Cleland's last contribution perhaps. Swept away not too convincingly by Smith. It's a better clearance by Ingles. Now Dodds. Losing out to McLaren's determination. Cleland again on the far side. That's for Salenko. Across goes John Ingles. Salenko expert at screening the ball. We can take it quickly. There's McLaren. That was deflected upwardly. A winning moment there for Aberdeen. Now McLaren trying a long range out. It was deflected just wide of the far post. And now Rangers want to make their change. Good strike down on McLaren. He can strike them as well from a long distance. And Margot Watts scrambling across his goal for the deflection. He'd be quite pleased to see that go for the corner. Off goes Alec Welland, who was ordered off last week in Turin against Juventus. He's replaced by Alexei Mikhailchenko, so that's an extra man in attacking mode for Rangers. Gascoigne's corner went out of play and bent back in. It's a goal kick to Aberdeen. 10 minutes left. Can Rangers save this, Terry? Well, not with corners like this, because that ball has just gone out probably about 2 or 3 feet. The linesman's right on the spot to give a goal kick, but Rangers have been noisy. They've got supreme power in the air. They have a lot of tall players, a lot of aggressive players in the air. They needed that ball into the box. They needed that ball into the danger area. We've seen Michael Watt fluff one cross going into his box, and Rangers needed to pile the pressure on. Unfortunately for them, it's a goal kick. Well, they've got into a 3-3-4 formation now. Just 3 at the back. Right, McLaren, Petric. Mikhailchenko has gone to an outside left position, an attacking 4. Jury's on the right. McCoy to Salenko through the middle. No problem there, but looking for a miracle from another new formation. Rangers have changed formations so frequently in this game. Yes, they have changed formation, but Billy Dodds and Scott Booth up front really have worked hard on whatever system Rangers have put against them, whether it's 3, whether it's a 2, whether it's a 4. And they've worked so hard, they've worked tirelessly and got the rewards from it. Dodds trying to play that into the path of Booth. It's back with Andy Gordon. Salenko screening it again, holding a play up, tackled firmly by Bernard. So this is Stephen Glass to Joe Miller. Miller being threatened there by Gascoigne, and made the tackle. Well, Gascoigne wants to be on the ball, not chasing it. Yeah, that's really been endemic of the play so far this match. We've had 82 minutes over 82 minutes, and Gaza really hasn't got on the ball a lot, only at set plays, and for one set play, had he put the ball behind for a goal kick. Aberdeen in possession again. Going strongly there to win the ball back for Rangers, but the ball's gone out for the throw-in. There's going to be a change made this time by Aberdeen. Change, I think, designed to hold what they have. Peter Helliston prepared to come on to replace Joe Miller as Petric goes striding forward. That's McCoy to Salenko. Coming into the far side is Mikhailchenko. Brian Grant getting back. A chance on here for Jury. And a desperate saving tackle there by Stuart McKinney. The captain saved today for Aberdeen.
Well, this was Rangers' best attacking play. Lovely ball out to Mikhailichenko. Thinks about the cross, comes inside, plays a ball back there, and you think that Gordon Doyle just hits the target, but Stuart McKinney flings himself for the corner. It is Mikhailichenko again, the ball driven well over the top. Alexei Mikhailichenko almost giving Rangers a goal, which would have set them up for a grandstand finish. And now the change will be made by Aberdeen. And there's going to be terrific applause, I can assure you, for Joe Miller, who's worked so hard. Began his career at Pretoria, then had a spell with Celtic before returning 2 years ago. He's played very well indeed tonight. The smile on the face says a great deal. Peter Henderson replaces him, an out-and-out midfield player. Makes him even more solid midfield forward in terms of defending. If I was Aitken, I'd just be concerned with Alexei Mikhailichenko on that left-hand side, and Peter Henderson probably gone over there straight away to try and help out Brian Grant, because that was really where Rangers almost scored when Mikhailichenko pulled it back. Awkward for Grant. Good control there, showing some sense of responsibility also. A chase here for Booth. With McLaren, who had to take the ball away from Andy Gordon. That's good defending by McLaren. So easily a bit of defensive disaster there for Rangers. Cool head of McLaren doing well. This is Durant. Chant is Aberdeen, and little wonder. Now McCoist goes to Salenko. Mikhailichenko wants the ball also. Semi-final. He scored right out of the blue. And what a shock this is for Aberdeen. Great layoff, good ball into the box from McCoy. Good layoff there, finds it on his left foot, cuts inside onto his right foot, bends his shot in the near post. Michael Watt will be disappointed that he's beaten at the near post there. We see Ollie Salenko on the ball, finds inside on his right foot. There's the gap, and there's the goal. Terrific strike by Salenko, his fourth goal for Rangers. And he's put them right back in this tie. The complexion of the game could change very suddenly now. Here's Jury. It'll be a real grandstand finish from Rangers, you can be sure of that. They will not accept defeat without a huge effort. Gascoigne to Brown. Now Durant. Brown still in the box. Tackled very well indeed inside that area by Ingles. Gascoigne trying to find a gap in the defence. Stumped away in the end by Bernard, and Aberdeen have Roy Aitken and Tommy Craig below us, waving the players forward. They don't want to defend on the edge of the box. So now Aberdeen have to have all their composure restored. Salenko has changed the complexion of the match. A fine goal. Forward. Here's McLaren. No option there. We'll play that back to Andy Gordon. Petric takes over. Now Brown. Here's Stephen Wright. Good pressing play again from Aberdeen. Trying to retain the shape and composure. In these closing stages, they've been so seldom tumbled at the back. That goal really came right out of nothing. Dummy from John Brown, not effective. Durant didn't read it. Here's Brian Grant. That's great running by Grant, but not quite enough space in the flank. He still relieves some pressure for Aberdeen. Ball from Petrick to Brown. Here's Alan McLaren. Now it's with Stephen Wright. Playing the long ball game here. Trying to find a way through. Maybe for an error as much as anything else, I think, for the Aberdeen defence. The handball decision's been given. It's an Aberdeen decision. Handball, free kick it must be. Given against Salenko by Alistair Hewitt, the near side linesman, who's a grade 1 referee. Salenko not happy with that. Hugh Dallas has kept a very good grip in this match. Looked at one stage in the first half, so he may have some problems. He's coped very well indeed. Chase on here by Dodds. He's eased out of that by McLaren. Tireless work it up from Dodds. Aberdeen will be quite relieved to see the ball go for a goal. Take the chance to regroup, get their system together and get that ball back into the Rangers' half. Well, Aberdeen have not seen any trophies since the 1990 Scottish Cup, which they won on penalty kicks against Celtic. Great opportunity of going to the final. Face first division opposition, the winners of Dundee against Airdrie, playing tomorrow night. So the clock ticking away, the Aberdeen supporters waiting anxiously as Stephen Wright concedes a foul by a push on Billy Dodds. That's a nice position to be in, get a free kick right on full time virtually, put the ball into the Rangers penalty area, probably put it towards the corner flag if anything, to try and kill a few more seconds. That's exactly what he's done, looking for a run from Dodds, who has run offside. Aberdeen again can regroup on the halfway line to face the free kick. Well, Dodds hoping fervently that his 2 goals have taken Aberdeen to the final. Still, there may be some defensive work to do though. Kimmy going up in determined fashion. He's damaged his face, colliding with the back of Judy's head. Here's Mikhailchenko, back with Durant. Kimmy still in round. Petric. Big ball forward. The cross by Mikhailchenko. McKimmy's now back on his feet, trying to go back into defensive position as Durant comes across field. Gascoigne to Petric. Selenko stayed wide. Head in low and hooked away there by Ingles, but here's John Brown on his left foot. Mikhailchenko, the acrobatic effort. Desperation there about that Rangers attack. We're now into stoppage time at the end of the semi-final. Well, it's the first time in the match Aberdeen defence looks ragged there, but Mikhailchenko trying a little bit ambitious. I think he had flyers to lay the ball off to. Durant was in the box and so was Paul Gascoigne, so a bit ambitious, but any ball into the box and Rangers must get that ball into the penalty area if they can win it back. Michael Watt replacing the ball, the referee indicating long range that he's checking his watch for that. A little bit of time wasting. So almost a minute now of stoppage time. Gascoigne playing it forward. Here's McCoist. Could be the last chance for Rangers. McKimmie and Smith doing well. This is Dodds against John Brown. Jury back to Durant. On the far side is Petric. Looking for Mikhailchenko, it's won by Grant. Here's Burke, will take this for run if he can. He doesn't need to. Aberdeen are in the final. The goal scored by Billy Dodds. Proved decisive in the end. The major shot here as Rangers are beaten. Peter Henderson, the substitute, joining the celebrations now, but it was a great overall Aberdeen performance.
Yes, great role from the back, right away to the front. The front two in particular, Dodds and Brood worked so hard to close the Rangers back three who started off the game. They did not have the possession, they did not have the chance to create things from the back and set the pattern really for the rest of this Aberdeen performance. A gritty, determined performance, but no short of quality as well, as we saw from Ian Jess. Lovely through ball to Billy Dodds for the first goal. Superb ball from Stephen Glass to the far post of Billy Dodds. That bit of determination, that bit of quality was well above Rangers on the day. A thoroughly deserved Aberdeen performance.
Oh, you can see the joy in these players' faces and the supporters now savouring the moment after the trials and tribulations of last season when relegation was avoided by the playoff. And now, on the brink of a trophy, Billy Dodds was the goal-scoring hero, but it was a great overall team performance by Aberdeen. They didn't have a weakness on the night, only that little bit of nervous closing 5 minutes after Oleg Selenko pulled one back for Rangers, but Aberdeen over the piece. So effective, so composed, so well organised by Roy Aitken and Tommy Craig. They have done extremely well to win this match, and it's Aberdeen who are in the final.
So Rangers are out, beaten by Aberdeen by 2-1, and as Jock was saying, what a marvellous resurgence for Aberdeen, so close to disaster last season, but they are in the final now of the Coca-Cola Cup. We'll be back at Hampden getting some reaction to that when we come back. Also the thoughts of Nigel Spagwin and Charlie Nicholas. It's Aberdeen in the final. Welcome back. Aberdeen winning tonight by 2-1. Rangers out in the semi-finals. Charlie, you said right at the start you thought the first goal would be so important. If Aberdeen got it, they could go on to win, and so they did. But it was a bit close at the end there, wasn't it?
Yeah, they just dug in at the end and hung on to it, but I thought they deserved to be 2 in front. It's as bad a performance as I've seen Rangers have this season in the second half. They didn't look as if they were together at all, and I thought, you know, the 2 goals really summed up, especially the second goal. Aberdeen players were queuing up to put it in the net.
Were you surprised with Rangers' second half performance, Nigel?
I was a bit, but I think organisation-wise they missed Richard Gough badly. And as Charlie said, I mean, the second goal, there's nobody at the far post. I think 3 defenders had come over. Alex Cleland was on the edge of the box, and there was 2 or 3 of them at the far post ready to knock it in. And I mean, I think that summed Rangers' evening up, really. They got a late goal and obviously put a bit of pressure on, but I think Aberdeen overall deserved the win.
Half-time, we were speculating about whether Paul Gascoigne would make the 90 minutes, but I mean, so anonymous second half, wasn't he?
Yes, he just didn't get into the game second half. I think Aberdeen had most of the play and he was chasing back, trying to get hold of the ball, but he didn't get on the ball at all second half and create anything for Rangers.
Obviously delighted for Aberdeen, Charlie.
Oh yeah, tremendous. You know, there's been a lot of pressure on Aberdeen after last season, nearly going down. Good friend of mine, Wally Muller, was the manager then, and I think Wally took the brunt of that, and managers do that. That's the problem managers have. But it's more or less the same team, but Big Roy has given them great drive and a bit of belief, and believed in their strengths, which is attacking, and I think he's now shown in their play, and now they've got a great opportunity to win a trophy.
Here comes the first goal. Billy Dodds, the scorer, of course. He got 2 on the night for Aberdeen. Nearly passed up the opportunity, Charlie, but in the end he turned.
Well, it's not the best
his advantage.
Touches, that's true, but the hard work was done by Jess. He drove at people. Billy Dodds has taken the pass, not the best of touches, and then got a bit lucky and squeezed it under Andy Gorham, actually through his legs. He gets the break of the ball, but he's made it count, and for me it was always going to be the most important goal for Aberdeen, because if they scored first, I then started to believe myself that they would have settled down and won it.
You think sometimes you make your own luck, Nigel, that Dodds did that then?
Yeah, I think you do make your own luck, especially in front of goal. But I think the biggest thing there was Ian Jess has picked that ball up in his own half, and he's run at Rangers defence and they've backed off, and then he slipped a lovely ball into Billy Dodds, who's obviously had the luck of it coming back off John Brown, and he slipped it away on his left foot. And from then, for the next 10 minutes or so, Aberdeen were well on top, and you know they looked like they could go on and score, you know, another goal or 2.
Well, they got the second through Dodds, but and all credit to him as well. But what was going on in that Rangers defence?
I don't know, all ball watching, I think. I mean, there's Billy Dodds, it's easy headed for him.
It's the 2, isn't it, Nigel? It's the 2. There's Joe Miller even behind. He's waiting to get in it. I've never, for long enough, never seen Rangers defence as wide open as that. That's the worst I've seen for a long time from Rangers.
I think Walter changed it back to a back 4 as well. He put Ian Durant on and took Craig Moore off, and they went back to a 4, and maybe that caused them a few problems as well. Maybe people didn't really know what they were doing, you know. But no excuses. I mean, I think they've got beaten fair and square tonight. Obviously, Rangers then were able to get into a situation whereby it was a question of them just pushing forward as best and as fast as they could. Gordon Dury, rather, with an opportunity that was blocked. But all hands to the pumps here in the Aberdeen defence, wasn't it? It was. Yeah, they were just digging in. They were trying to keep it as solid as they could. With a bit of problem with the wind. Tremendous challenge by McKimmie here. Yeah, great block. Throws himself in. Good experienced pro, just throwing his body at it and saving his team the problem of losing a goal. That's right. Just got to defend it. It was everybody, you know, just get behind the ball and block the ball, and if it goes out for a corner, get reorganised, and that's what they did well. Rangers got the goal that they were looking for. Oleg Solenko, his 4th for them. Keeper will have to be disappointed, surely. With what? Yeah, I think the defender's got to show him outside though here. He's let him come back in on his right foot, his strong foot, but he's beaten him near post, which obviously the goalkeeper would be disappointed with. And then we thought, right, we're in for a really lively 4 minutes here, but it didn't happen, did it? They had a lot of pressure, Rangers, but Aberdeen kept giving the ball away. I think it was going up, coming back, and there was a bit of pressure, but no real clear-cut chances. Put that into perspective. How damaging a defeat is that for Rangers? Well, I think they're going to be obviously very disappointed. Walter will be very upset about it. I mean, it's another chance of getting to a cup final, winning the cup final, and then you know you're in Europe next year, you know, as early as November. And I think he'll be very disappointed. I think they're looking to win all 3 trophies again this season. And for Aberdeen, Charlie?
Well, it's great hope. It's not just for Aberdeen. I mean, it's a great night for Aberdeen, but it's for everybody else. Everybody keeps saying we must get to Rangers standards in Scotland. And there's Aberdeen doing it in Glasgow, which is the hardest place to do it. They've done it in Glasgow tonight and done it fairly convincingly. So they must take great heart from it, and the rest of the teams must follow.
Sorry, incidentally, we can't get any reaction from Hampden Park. We were hoping to be able to do that, but so bad is the weather now in Glasgow that we've lost all our pictures, and we're doing our best to remedy that situation as quickly as we can. But for the time being, there is nothing coming out of Hampden Park. Will Aberdeen tonight be thinking about winning the trophy, or is that too presumptuous?
No, they will be thinking of that. You're always going to have that in the semi-final. They always say that's really the make-or-break time. You hate to lose semi-finals, and it's true. But it's the same when you win a semi-final. You actually start to believe and start to feel that you could maybe win a trophy. There's a few players on that Aberdeen side who haven't won anything, so they'll be dreaming about it already, going back home in the bus tonight.
Just looking at one or two of those faces as they came off, I sensed that they couldn't quite believe they'd done the job there tonight, that they had beaten Rangers.
Yeah, well, I think after the league game a fortnight ago in Aberdeen, well, they played so well and dominated for long periods against Rangers. They actually think to themselves, we're going to Glasgow, going to be worse. It's going to be harder. And I think the second half has probably surprised them, how much of the ball they actually did get.
Yeah. I think the one thing for Aberdeen they've got to be careful is Celtic were in the same position last year, and they've obviously got through to the final and come up against the First Division side in Wraith Rovers, and Wraith end up beating them. And I mean, they're going to be up. Aberdeen are now going to be against Airdrie or Dundee, and don't count your chickens.
Just wonder if Rangers went into that tonight with the right attitude, having won at Pittodrie the way they did. I mean, backs to the wall for them there, wasn't it? But yeah, came away with the win.
I'm sure they're going there with the right attitude. I think the problem is at the moment they've got so many injuries. You don't want to make excuses for them, but they've got so many injuries and players are coming in, coming out, and maybe there's no set pattern there for them at the moment. But you know, on the night, Aberdeen were too good for them.
No, I would agree with that. I think Rangers have always been particularly good attitude-wise. I've always had the abundance of that. But I think the influential players have really well missed tonight, especially in Gough. I think they've really missed the leadership.
So that's Aberdeen into the final. It's Dundee or Airdrie that they'll play. Let's look ahead now to tomorrow night's other semi. Danish international Morten Weghorst, the man whose penalty took Dundee into the Coca-Cola Cup semi-finals, is one of two big injury doubts for tomorrow night. The other is skipper Neil Duffy, nephew of the manager Jim, and a goal scorer on Saturday against Clydebank. He later limped out of the match with a calf injury. The boss would love to have them both fit for a game he feels could put Dundee back on the map.
There's been a couple of occasions over the last few seasons we've looked as if we're getting somewhere, and then all of a sudden, you know, we've had a bad result, and you know, we've had to chase the fans again and try and work to get them back. But I mean, the players have got a good opportunity to get themselves into a National Cup final for the first time in a long, long time, and you know, it's up to them to see whether they've got the temperament to handle it.
Englishman Steve Cooper scored the goal which took Airdrie to the 10th Scottish Cup final last season. He'll pose the main goal threat again, along with compatriot Peter Duffield, the former Sheffield United striker signed from Hamilton in a close season. It's a partnership both players want to develop.
We started playing the start of the season, and you know, we was doing quite well, gelling together well. And then unfortunately Peter broke his arm, so he was out for 4 or 5 games. So it did put a bit of a pause on it, but you know, Peter's back in the side now, and we're starting to create chances. Unfortunately, we're not putting them away, but as long as we just keep creating them for each other, obviously we're going to keep scoring goals.
Any Scotch person that goes down to England loves to play at Wembley, and I'm no different coming up here. You know, it would be a great thrill to go to Hampden and play in the final, but obviously we've got to get the semi-final done first, and it's going to be a very tough game against Dundee. I don't know what the lads' record against Dundee is, but you know, my record isn't at the best. But we've played them already this season and drew 1 each and played very well, so hopefully we can carry on that performance against them.
The incentive for both sides is to emulate Wraith Rovers and qualify for Europe. It's a shortcut to the big time, which offers the chance to go in against the likes of Bayern Munich. The contrasting styles tomorrow night should make for a good semi-final.
I think we basically are a team. You know, we've got to work for each other. I don't think there's a time that we can say, well, we can maybe carry one today or anything like that. You know, I've seen us maybe playing with 10 men. But I think we basically play as a team. We've got very talented players. I mean, we've got an awful lot of footballers on the side. Sometimes too many people say, you know, I don't know whether you can ever have too many footballers, but we do get criticised occasionally for having too many footballers on the side and no enough dig, as they say in Scotland. But yeah, it's a great opportunity for them. There's spotlights on them, you know, for a big occasion, and it's up to them to show whether they can handle it.
Well, having got it right tonight, Charlie, where's your money tomorrow night?
I would love Dundee to go through. Personally, James is a great friend of mine, but They're such different clubs. Airdrie's such a workman-like club. They really work together and they've got a great spirit among them. Been in 2 Scottish Cup finals, I think, over the last 4 seasons, which is tremendous for a First Division club. But Dundee are the team who like to play the more attractive style, and hopefully that's going to show through and Dundee's going to get there. Any regrets that you're not part of that setup at the moment? No, not in particular, no. I was offered to go up there and do a bit of coaching and playing, and as I say, great friends with James, but it wasn't for me at the time, and I'm quite happy the way things are going for me. Nigel, what would you think tomorrow night?
I think Airdrie are a very good cup side. I mean, in recent years.
The fact, as you say, the fact in recent years that they are a cup team, does that give them the edge? That they know what it's about?
In my opinion, it does. I think they work for each other, and it's a semi-final, and I think that's what comes out in the semi-final. They all want to work for each other, and I think they'll end up playing Aberdeen in the final. Well, there'll certainly be Aberdeen in that final, as we know tonight. The Dons having come past Rangers. A shock? Shock for me. I thought Rangers, although with all the injuries they've got, I fancied them to win tonight. But without Richard Gough at the back, maybe they looked a bit sloppy at the back. But again, didn't test the goalkeeper, Michael Watt, too much tonight either. I mean, I think he only had a couple of saves to make. I mean, he looked a couple of crosses he missed. But other than that, they didn't put him under great pressure. Is there a rebuild necessary at Ibrox again so soon after what was undertaken in the summer, or when they get players back, the likes of the Goffs and the Robertsons, are they as good and better than anything else? I think they're too good for everybody else in Scottish football when they got the first team out. I think Michael Laudrup obviously has been out for a long time now. They've missed big Mark Haitley, who's obviously moved on now. But you know, with Stuart McCall as well, who gives them a drive from midfield, breaks forward. There's Ian Ferguson as well, who's out injured, as well as David Robertson. I mean, they're all first-team players, and it doesn't matter how big a squad you have, you're going to miss them, and it upsets your pattern of play. And maybe that's what's happened to Rangers a little bit at the moment. Now, it's so frustrating that season in and season out, they are winning the championship, but Europe remains a disappointment. Charlie mentioned it earlier. Rangers fans are not that bothered. They just want to win the title every season. Is that the extent of the ambition, or does it go beyond that? No, I think they wanted to obviously do very well in Europe, and maybe if the new rule comes in with the Bosman case, that might help Rangers to do even better in Europe. I mean, they've got to the Champions League. They've unfortunately got a very tough draw in that, and it doesn't look like they go through to the semi-finals. But the biggest thing is to win your championship, your own championship, to get into the European Cup, as I said earlier. But Rangers fans want more than that. They want to actually do well in Europe. They want to get to a major European final. And unfortunately, in recent years, they've not had that success, except for maybe the one time when they beat Leeds and got through, and unfortunately didn't go through. Marseille went through. I think finished the season, but they didn't lose a game. That particular season unbeaten in the Champions League, yeah. And I think that's what, I mean, they have 45,000 there every week at Ibrox, or every other week when they're at home. It's a full house when they go away. It keeps the rest of Scottish football going, really, along with the Celtic punters turning up. They keep Scottish football going. But the supporters want more than just winning the championship. They want the win in Europe. A bit too soon for Aberdeen to be thinking about it, Charlie, but not too far away from playing in Europe again. Yeah, well, they've got a great opportunity now to do that, and they missed out last season in Europe, or should I say this season. So it's important that they get back to the standards that's been set before at Aberdeen. People tend to forget, because it's been 5-6 years since I picked up a trophy, what a great side they were in the 80s. I mean, they were very, very strong in Scotland in the 80s, and even done well in Europe. And they've been the best Scottish side in Europe over the last 15 years, possibly. And it'd be important to get them back, because if their standards are raised, then the rest of the teams will raise their standards. Imagine how they feel right now. Aberdeen through to the Coca-Cola Cup final, beating Rangers tonight by 2-1, and we'll be back with more in a moment or so.